Yeah, this is case number 413 on the calendar in the matter of Tuck versus Bassett. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mrs. Bassett, what kind of establishment do you own?
We run a food establishment. It's a restaurant.
A restaurant? Mm-hmm. How many people does it seat?
About 200 to 250.
All right, Mr. Tuck, this is your complaint. Miss Bassett hired you around Christmas time to be a Santa Claus in her place of business. And you went there, you performed once as Santa Claus, and you were supposed to be available 4 weeks in a row. You did what you did with the customers once, and you were told not to come back because Miss Bassett wasn't satisfied with your performance. Miss Bassett says that she wasn't satisfied with your performance. She paid you the $125 that you earned that evening by being there, but she had serious misgivings about whether or not you would be an asset to her establishment for the remainder of the Christmas season. You did, in fact, hire somebody else.
That's correct.
Okay. I think the whole thing involved, at least part of it, was this tip jar, which I see out here, which is something that has to do with Santa Claus. Can I see that thing over there, please? Thank you. Bird, what does that say in there?
Santa's Eggnog Fund tips.
Did you prepare that, Mr. Tuck?
Actually, my wife did.
Okay. Did you tell her that it was in bad taste?
Well, I had received a $3 tip for one particular person, and I didn't have any place to put it.
Well, but were you expecting tips when you signed on for this job?
No, I never.
So why didn't you return the $3 tip and said, Santa doesn't take tips? Santa loves little children.
Well, it was from the father.
Loud enough for the child to hear you. Santa doesn't take tips.
Well, the children, it was in a discreet manner, and that's why I tried to quickly dispose of it in my glove.
Good, so you quickly disposed of it in your glove, and then your wife made a jar for more.
Well, it was, I thought it was a rather unusual opportunity.
Well, it's not. It's ridiculous. I used to take my children to see Santa Claus all the time when they were little. Never once did I see a Santa Claus tip jar. Mr. Tuck, how many times have you played Santa before?
I had played a number of times the previous season.
Where?
In the same community.
Name of this place?
In December 2005, there were different Boy Scout troops, churches.
Give me the name of a place that I can call where you played Santa Claus, sir.
Okay, off the top of my head from 2005, I don't immediately recall.
2004?
I did not previously do that.
So this was your first paid engagement as Santa Claus?
No, I had a number of paid engagements in 2005.
But you don't remember any of them? Put your hand down, madam. It's not you who was hired. Miss Bassett, in her answer, says that she was unhappy with the performance. Why?
Well, first of all, he came in, he sat down, didn't approach kids, he was drinking Coke, okay? Then customers would come and approach us and said, you know, we want to take a picture of our kid with Santa, but there's a tip jar over there. Which, I mean, who does that? No. Santa don't ask for tips. So after the night was over, we sat down and we discussed it, me, my managers, and my crew, and we decided, you know, people weren't happy. He wasn't cheerful. He wasn't approaching, again, the kids. He was drinking Coke by the popcorn machine, and that's all he did.
Okay. Did you have a written contract with him?
No.
You agreed to pay him $125 each time he performed?
He was charging $25 an hour. We never agreed to a certain amount of hours a night.
Okay, $25 an hour, and he was there 5 hours, so you gave him $125?
That's correct.
Did you get $125?
Yes, I did.
Fine. You're suing her, Mr. Tuck, for $412.50 lost wages. What lost wages did you have?
Well, we had a verbal agreement in which she had agreed weeks in advance of the date in which we had began the process.
Mr. Tuck, what lost wages did you have, sir?
The $125 per day that remained.
Name a place that you turned down for a job because you had this previous engagement that I can call where you turned down a job. You weren't performing at her restaurant every night, once a week, right? Once a week. Mm-hmm. Okay, name. Put your hand down.
I did all his business.
Listen to me. I'll get to you in a minute. Name a place, Mr. Tuck, that I can call where you turned down business.
Dentistry for Kids was one that...
Dentistry for Kids?
Yes, they had requested the entire week, and because that one particular Tuesday was locked up with this client, they simply opted for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
So did you work for them Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday?
Yes, I did.
Good for you. You want to get up?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. What?
We had a verbal agreement. She asked me back in October if we needed a contract because I handled all of his business. On October 27th, I have an email that I sent to her. Down here was the picture that was attached that she used to create advertisements that specifically list the dates and the times that he would be there. With the tip jar, what happened was I had dropped him off. I brought our family back up approximately 5 p.m. I dropped him off at 4. Our family came in to eat dinner. And he came over to me and he said, "What do I do with this?" He handed me the $3. I went back home. I got the Santa mug that the kids usually leave for.
I got what happened, madam.
Well,
What
it
I'm
was
telling you
not
is-
prepared.
It was prepared.
It was not prepared prior to the engagement. It was only after our family went for dinner that I went home and I decorated
I
it.
understand exactly what you're saying. He put it out. It was out in the restaurant while he was working. Put it down. It was out in the restaurant while he was working.
Completely away from where the
I
customers
don't care
were.
whether it was completely away or not. You're not faced with a situation where Miss Bassett didn't want a Santa Claus in her establishment. She hired somebody else.
She's misrepresenting that because I asked her how she felt it went. She thought it was fine.
Listen to me. Why do you think she let him go and hired somebody else to work the weeks that he was supposed to work?
When we left, she said,
That's
"I'll see you next Tuesday." She
And
said
then
that.
she spoke to her employees, and it didn't go well.
But on-
listen to me. My question to you is, why do you think she let your husband go and hired somebody else to work those weeks?
She did not have a Santa that following Tuesday. People from the community showed up, and we had already filed the small claims, and that is when she hired the other Santa. We talked to the other Santa.
Why do you think she went? You're not answering my
hired-
question, Miss. Listen, Miss Tuck. You're not answering my question.
She hired the other one because children came to see Santa that following Tuesday, and there was no Santa.
So she could have hired. Mister, you're not getting it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If all you're doing is playing Santa Claus, you would remember those things. There's a reason that he doesn't remember. Don't go any further, Miss Tuck. I'm promising you
I
that you
can
should
clarify.
not go further.
And later today,
Why don't you think that you have a responsibility, Mr. Scott, to pay back this money instead of buying those great shoes? You get my drift?
Yes, ma'am.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Tuck claims former employer Karina Bassett owes for illegally firing him from his job playing Santa Claus. Karina says Michael was soliciting tips from customers.
She was dissatisfied with his service.
She was not.
Yes, she was dissatisfied with his service. Otherwise, there was absolutely no reason. And he gave her cause. She's entitled to not continue your services, sir. If she didn't continue your services, she didn't continue them for cause, because this tip jar is the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. And he's not entitled to a job. He's not entitled to a job unless you have a written employment contract, which you do not have. And I do not believe, quite frankly, that he turned down other jobs for Tuesday night, because there's a reason that he doesn't remember.
When he
Listen, he's retired. You're a homemaker.
Yes.
If all you're doing is playing Santa Claus, you would remember those things, unless there's a problem. Don't go any further, Miss Tuck. I'm promising you that you should not go further. There's a reason why she did not continue with his employment. Leave it at that. He worked one day. He was paid for that one day. Leave it at that. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I had a lot of complaints about the tip jar.
Something in poor taste can easily be resolved by simply saying, don't bring the tip cut.
And if, you're not doing the right thing, we need to let you go.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Anderson versus Scott, step forward, please.
Christine Anderson is suing her older sister, Jennifer Scott, for $5,000 in unpaid loans. Jennifer claims the money was part investment and part gift.
Miss Anderson, this is your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Older or younger?
Oldest.
According to your complaint, you made 2 loans to her. One
Yeah.
to help her cover her mortgage when she was starting a new business. She fell behind in her bills. And the other when she needed some money so that she could continue her business. You want your money back.
Yes, ma'am.
Your sister says, while she does acknowledge that you paid her mortgage twice, she said you did so as a gift to her. There was never any expectation of being repaid. And with regard to the second amount of money that you gave to her, it was a business investment. And because of her own negligence, all of her product got stolen, so you lost your investment. That be a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You married lady?
Yes, ma'am.
You have children?
2.
What does your husband do for a living?
He works for the city.
What about you?
I'm a daycare owner.
You own your own home?
Mm-hmm.
Have a mortgage?
Mm-hmm.
How big?
It's not compared to what they have here. It's about $120,000.
It's a lot of money. How much do you earn a year? About.
About 60,000.
And your husband?
About 45.
Got a lot of savings?
Not really.
Have a car?
Payment.
What kind of car?
2005 Tahoe.
And what about your husband?
He has a 2002 F-150. Payments on it.
How old are your children?
7 and 4.
And you? Married?
Yes, ma'am.
Husband?
Yes.
How long are you married?
4 years.
Have children?
Yes.
How old?
17, 9, and 2 2-year-olds and one on the way.
What does your husband do for a living?
He's a barber.
What do you do for a living?
We own a business together.
What kind of business?
Hair business.
What kind of hair business?
He cuts hair. It's a shop.
Is this your husband?
Yes.
So you work in the shop with him?
No, ma'am. I stay home. My name's just on the business.
So you have a 17-year-old, a 9-year-old, twin to a 2, and you're expecting another child.
Correct. Well,
A lot of children for somebody that can't afford to keep up their bills.
yes, ma'am.
Lot. Okay. Tell me about the first amount of money that you gave to your sister.
The first one I did was about the 20th of the month of June last year, and she hadn't paid her mortgage yet. She couldn't afford to pay it, so I offered to help her. I'm
Tell
going to
me how
need
that came about.
Well, we talked on the phone a lot. We were close at one point, and she just said basically that things had gone downhill. The shop wasn't making as much money at the time, and she fell behind on her mortgage. And it was already the 20th month. She didn't know what she was going to do. So I said, well, I can help you, but how fast do you think you could pay it back? She said, oh, within a couple months, no problem. At the time, she was going to New York and buying handbags, and she'd bring them back to her shop and sell them for much higher markup. And according to my dad, who is a retired chief of police, she was doing really well because he lives up in Michigan with her too. So I had no reason to doubt it. So I went ahead and I phone paid her mortgage for her, and I have that.
Can I see it, please?
Yep. And when I had paid it, I called her back and I said, it's highlighted. I said I went ahead and...
You want to stand up with your wife, please?
I went ahead and I paid, the mortgage. She said, well, Chris, it is the 20 whatever of the month. That was for this month. And I said, so you need another month? And she said, yeah. And I said, let me see what I can do, And so I went through all my bills and stuff. And I said, well, I'll go ahead and I'll write you a check and I'll send it. I have that.
Can I see it, please? She doesn't deny it, that you gave her that money. She said it was a gift. Okay. Let me...
Yeah. You have my bank statements,
No,
ma'am?
I got it.
You can see that I don't have that kind of gift.
I got it. No, I got it.
Okay, so okay, sorry.
So let me hear.
Well,
What months was this that you fell short? June of 2005?
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Scott, you were living in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
You lived in a house where your sister-in-law paid the mortgage?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of responsibility do you feel as the man of the house, as the head of the household, to pay her back?
As far as I knew, it was she just gave us the money.
She was helping us out.
That's not what I asked, madam. I asked him, he's living in a house with his children and his wife and his sister-in-law, who's a working woman with a working husband, just like you are. I mean, the fact that you made all these children, she doesn't have to suffer for that. She's got 2 children. You got a whole gaggle of children. So why don't you think that you have a responsibility, Mr. Scott, to pay back this money?
Because she never expressed it in that way.
I'm not asking you whether you believe that there was a loan. I'm asking you, Mr. Scott, why it is that you don't believe you have, irrespective of what I decide today, the moral obligation to say, I'm not going to be supported by my sister-in-law. That's ridiculous. She doesn't have any obligation to support me. She's a struggling lady, just like we are. She's got house payments, she's got car payments, she's got everything else. I fell off a little bit. It may take me a little time. I'll send you $50 here and $100 there in order to get it paid up. That's what I'm asking you, sir, instead of buying those great shoes. You get my drift?
Yes, ma'am.
If you got enough time to make another baby, sir, you got enough time to get another job. Sit down. You owe your sister the mortgage money. Outrageous. Now, after you gave her the mortgage money, let's get to the other stupidity. After you gave her the mortgage money that she didn't pay back, let me hear the rest.
After that, it was a few weeks later, she called and she said, just business isn't picking up. I don't have the money to go to New York again. It cost me at least $700 to make the trip. She was going like every couple weeks to New York to get these things. She should have just saved the money and made one gigantic trip, but she didn't. Anyway, she needed money to get up there to make money to pay me back. And
so it was insurance?
Yes. My husband was really already upset about it. So this was the best way possible I knew to help her, help herself, and help get the money back for us.
So you gave her another what?
First, it was $1,000, and then 3 days later, it was $2,000 more, which I have bank transfers here. These are not gifts. This is...
Okay.
Then she came down in November, and I brought my mom with me today as my witness to this. She came down for Thanksgiving, I think it was, and everything was fine for the couple days, and then all of a sudden we ended up getting into it over the money. You know, my husband and I we couldn't handle it no more. We needed the money back. And she ended up writing me a check for $600 because it was total, if you total all this up, it was $5,700. She wrote me a check for $655. I deposited it into the bank. She ended up leaving and didn't even say goodbye to my mom. You know, she was just so upset or whatever. She felt like I was being horrible about the whole situation, that I wanted the money back. When this was from the jump, this was not an investment. This was a loan. This was trying to help her help herself. And
Let's go. I'm ready to hear you.
It was an investment.
Let me hear.
She gave me the money as an investment. She was helping me out. I was supposed to pay her back the money from that money. From the $3,000, I was supposed to pay back, you know, what I owed her from that money. Well, what happened...
Listen to me. There's something else going on with your sister. I'm telling you.
Like what?
I'm not going there. I'm telling you, there's something else going on with your sister.
Well, go there, because, I mean, you're insinuating. What are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating, madam, that...
What are you insinuating?
I want to see the police report where you say you brought a woman into your house who ended up stealing your car and all the product that you... I'm speaking.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
I'm speaking. It ended up stealing your car and all the products that you had purchased, and that's why you couldn't pay her back. So that was...
We made a couple trips. I already requested the police report. It didn't get here in time. But we had made a couple trips during that time with that $3,000, and I got caught up on my bills with that money. And then we made one big trip, and when we came back, I was helping somebody out, you know, that was in our home. When we came back from New York,
who were you helping out that was in your home?
It was a friend of ours. Well, she was, you know.
Something else is going on. I don't have to get into
Whatever.
it now. It's totally irrelevant, really, to this, but your money was going maybe to pocketbooks.
what I was told about the whole car theft situation was this lady, she let her friend use her car. Her friend never came back.
Listen to me.
And
That's
all
not what
of her
happened.
merchandise-
That's not
Listen
even
to
what
me.
happened. She's lying.
Listen to me.
She's lying.
Listen
We came
to
back
me.
from
Listen to me.
We came back from New
It's
York.
not relevant, particularly relevant. I'm just telling you something else is going on. Anyway, your sister owes you the money. The fact that she decided not to pay you after she took the money from you is unfortunate. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
All you guys, please, you may step out.
You know what? We needed the money back.
Well, no,
This is case number 456 on the calendar in the matter of Pinette versus Swartz.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Pinette, you were at a party with the defendant. I assume she was a friend of yours, and it is your claim that she took your car without permission and wrecked it.
She didn't wreck it. She hit a curb and blew out a tire, and the transmission went out.
And Ms. Swartz says that she had an unfortunate accident and that she might clearly be responsible for replacing a tire, but certainly not the transmission, since she had your permission and this accident was clearly not her fault.
Well, she did not have my permission.
Good. So let's go back. When was this party that you had?
A couple of months ago, it was a Friday night. It was at my house, and
Listen, Mr. Pinette, how old are you, sir?
23.
What do you do for a living?
I am a market analyst.
Ever been to court before, sir?
No, except for traffic tickets and...
Well, that's court. So, if you're a plaintiff and you have a claim, first thing you figure out is what date.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because the questions get harder after that, Mr. Pinette. So, a couple of months ago on a Friday night isn't a date.
I believe the date was December 14th, Your Honor.
That's a date. Now, it was on December 14th, 2006. Where were you?
At my house.
Who else was there?
I don't know the exact names, but a bunch of my friends.
And what were you all doing?
Drinking, watching TV, listening to music.
Great. Having a good time. Being responsible.
Yes.
What happened next?
Well, I didn't keep track of everybody around that night. I went to bed maybe around 1 or 2, and the next morning, Stacy called me and said that my car was broken down. I said, you know, how could that be? It should be in front of my house. And she said she was in Sunrise, which is about 20 miles away.
Where do you live?
Downtown Sacramento.
Go ahead.
She said it was broken down. She explained to me that she had taken my car the night before and that it had broken down the night before and that she had spent the night and was calling me in the morning. And I was...
Spent the night where?
At one of her friend's house, I assume.
Okay.
And I explained to her that she had better get my car back to me.
What kind of car do you have?
It's a Nissan Sentra.
Year?
1997. And she said she would. We exchanged words. I was a little upset, and then I fell back asleep. I didn't get my car back until the next day. She had it towed back to my house. At first, she hadn't even told me that a tire had blown out. I did see that for myself when it came to my house. Then she explained that to me. I had not given her permission to drive the car, so I was very upset.
Okay. Don't repeat anything.
Okay.
I have other things to do. Are you finished?
She had told me that she would pay for all damages. She was very apologetic at first, and I felt, like I would forgive her. I had it diagnosed, and she refused to pay it. She says she's not responsible for that.
And when you had it diagnosed, what was the bill?
It was $1,500, $1,593.83. I'd originally said $1,600. It's I'd rounded when I looked at the receipt. It's actually $6.17 less than that.
Mr. Panett, how did you pay for this?
My father loaned me the money to pay for it, actually.
Did you pay for it in check or cash, sir?
I believe my father used his credit card to pay for it, and I had to pay my father back.
What's your father's name?
John Panett.
His phone number?
It's in my cell phone. I'm sorry.
Bird, would you please get his cell phone so that we can get the father's number, please? Thank you. And he's going to verify that he paid this bill, sir?
Yes,
when I
he
call
would.
him on the phone? Good. We're going to do that.
Okay.
In a minute.
Okay.
Now, I'll hear you, Miss Swartz.
On December 14th, I was hanging out at Kip's house, and I asked him if I could borrow his car to go over to Jessica's house.
Where does Jessica live?
A few blocks from his house.
And he said?
He said yes. He let me borrow it.
Good. So you understand, Miss Swartz,
That's a different place than she was. Excuse me, Your Honor.
You do understand, madam, that you did have limited authority to take his car to go to Jessica's house, which is a few blocks away. You understand that?
Yes. Yeah.
Now tell me what happened.
I drove over to Jessica's house and told her that I was using Kip's car, and she called me at 5 o'clock in the morning and woke me up.
At Jessica's house?
Yes. And told me she was drunk and stranded in Sunrise, so I didn't even think to call Kip and ask permission because he let me borrow his car. He knew I wasn't...
No, my dear.
He knew I wasn't going to bring it back until the morning, so I...
Darling!
Yes.
You get it now? You look as if you're smart enough to get where I'm going.
Yes, ma'am.
You went to pick up your friend in Sunrise. And how far is Sunrise from Jessica's house?
Approximately 20 miles.
20?
Miles.
Miles, not blocks. Miles. And it was coming back with her, this drunken friend of yours, that you had the accident.
Yes.
Now tell me about the accident.
I was just driving and I was coasting, so I was in neutral. And then I tried to put it into gear and it would not go into gear. And I went to park immediately and I hit the curb and popped the tire. That was probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
You must have hit the curb very hard.
Well, yes, it was hard enough to pop the tire. And I immediately changed the tire. And since it was about 5:30 in the morning, my friend that I picked up just walked to her house because we were about a block away. And I slept in the car and called Kip about 9 o'clock in the morning to tell him that I was going to get his car towed back to him.
Let us assume that I believe you, that Mr. Panett said that you could borrow his car to go to Jessica's house, which is a few blocks away, to
Yes.
stay over. When you exceeded his permission by going 20 miles away the next day, you no longer had his permission. Do you understand that?
But he knew I was going to have it till the morning.
Don't tell me what he knew. He gave you permission, according to you, to drive it a few blocks. A few blocks is not 20 miles.
I have my witness here that saw him give me permission.
I just said, don't you have your listening ears on? I said, if I believe you, he gave you permission to take it a few blocks away. Once you took it 20 miles away, you no longer had permission.
Your Honor, he lets me borrow the car all the time.
That's not true.
Just a second. Where do you think you are?
Right here.
Where is here?
In this witness chair.
And until you stand up there, what are you supposed to do?
Listen to you.
Right. Once you exceeded the scope of the permission, you no longer had permission. That's the law. Do you understand it?
Yes.
So all I have to do is deal with the issue of damages. And for that, you're going to give me John's cell phone.
Yes, ma'am. Just let me power it up.
Power it up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What a nice father you have, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you know what he doesn't remember?
What?
He doesn't remember you paying him back.
And later today,
What were you doing for the last 3 years?
I was selling cars.
Why did you decide to go back to school?
I made a life-changing mistake of driving under the influence and lost my license.
That was life-changing.
Very much.
Kenneth Kip Panett claims former friend Stacy Schwartz took his car without permission and damaged it. Kenneth says Stacy not only ruined the transmission and clutch, but she also popped one of his tires.
John Panett, this is Judge Judy Scheindlin. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. Do you have a moment for just a couple of quick questions for me? I'm here, as you know, trying a case involving your son and this young woman who took his car without permission. Are you familiar with that? Okay. Did he ever ask you for any money to help him repair this car? When was that? 3 months ago. Do you remember how much it cost you, sir? Approximately. And did you use your credit card? Did he pay you back that money? I know, I have children. Did he tell you how it happened? That he needed a new transmission? Was he driving the car? Okay. Very good. And you used a credit card? Okay, great. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you taking the time. Bye-bye now. What a nice father you have, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And as a matter of fact, your father does remember helping you out and paying for this transmission a few months ago.
That's correct.
Do you know what he doesn't remember?
What?
He doesn't remember you paying him back.
Well, I owe him money pretty much all the time, and I am always paying him. So
but
I'm in the process
that he
of
doesn't
paying him.
remember. I mean, he does remember laying this money out for you, but he doesn't remember the fact that you paid him.
I have not fully paid him back, Your Honor. I apologize.
Well, how much have you paid him, sir?
Well, I owe him a total of quite a bit more than that. So I guess if you got down to that bill, I haven't paid him any because I'm paying him for things that I owe him.
Well, you have no objection to making the check payable to your father, do you?
No, not at all.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,593.83 to be made payable to John Panett. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
It may take time, but we probably will be friends again.
Well, now that it's all been paid for, I would probably hang out with her again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lahore versus Tatum. Step forward, please.
Desiree Loire claims ex-boyfriend Anthony Tatum owes for unpaid rent from their shared apartment. Desiree also says Anthony slashed her comforter and put a hole in the wall.
I have a feeling it's advice time. Miss Loire, this used to be your boyfriend.
Yes.
And you also shared an apartment with him.
Yes.
You claim he owes you a whole bunch of money, dating back to 2005. You do know we're in 2007 now.
Yes, I do.
Mr. Tatum says he owes you nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice-looking couple. How old are you?
21.
And you?
22?
And you moved in together when you were 19 and you were 20.
Correct.
Old enough to sign a contract?
Yes.
Definitely.
So you signed a lease together?
Multiple.
Multiple leases together?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not talking about all the leases you signed together. I'm talking about the last one after you moved out, because that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. And it is the plaintiff's claim that you moved out, you owed her rent, you damaged some of her property, and you loaned him money in 2005 for some car insurance. That you don't remember. Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I work at a Japanese restaurant as a bartender.
And you?
I'm a student.
How do you support yourself?
Currently, my parents do, ma'am.
Have you ever supported yourself?
For the past 3 years, yes.
So you just went back to school.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing for the last 3 years?
I was selling cars.
Did you make a living at it?
Very much so.
Why did you decide to go back to school?
I made a life-changing mistake of driving under the influence and lost my license.
That's a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you injure anybody?
No, ma'am.
How long is your license suspended for?
It's no longer suspended. I just can't be picked up by the insurance of a dealership. Therefore, I'm back in school.
Gotcha. Okay. That was life-changing.
Very much. Learned a life lesson.
So I'm going to give you both another one. Don't ever move in with somebody and sign a lease together. Single people who want to try living together should always get an apartment that each of them can afford separately. Isn't that a smart idea?
Absolutely.
So that if it doesn't work out, somebody says, this is my apartment, that was our agreement, you leave, I can pay the rent all by myself. Of course, I understand that by saying this, I will probably lose 40% of the cases that I try each year, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice for the purpose of the common good. Right?
You will not lose a single case.
You know, he says that because nobody's going to listen to me. But if they did listen, there's a certain wisdom in what I say.
Yes, it is.
That way, two people wouldn't be homeless, two people wouldn't have their credit in the toilet, two people would not have to go back to mama or whatever. You would be able to separate and say, it didn't work out. Okay. So you signed this lease together when?
In September of 2005.
And when did you move out, sir?
October 30th of 2005.
Are you still living in the apartment?
No, I'm not.
When did you move out?
February of 2006.
So you only stayed there for a couple of months?
I was there for 6 months.
November, December, January. You stayed till the end of February?
September to the end of February.
I'm not talking about September. He left in October. Did you pay October's rent?
Yes, ma'am.
No, he did not.
Well, I don't know that. How do I know that? 2 years ago. Let's talk about November, December, and January. 3 months that you lived there that he didn't.
Right.
Who lived with you there for those 3 months?
Nobody. I lived by myself. He refused to sign off the lease, so I was unable to.
You say there was somebody else living in the apartment?
Yes, ma'am. Her friend Tracy, who is also my friend, and her witness's friend moved in at the beginning of November.
How do you know that, sir?
Because I went over there and she was living there.
You went over there when?
To get the rest of my stuff at the beginning of November.
How do you know she was living there?
Because my friend was her boyfriend at the time and he was also going over there.
That's completely untrue.
Did she stay there?
She stayed there occasionally. If we would.
How occasionally?
A couple nights a week. If we went out, she'd stay over. But no, she did not pay rent. None of her things were there.
Well, you should have. How to pay rent? How many bedrooms in this apartment?
1.
Where did she sleep when she stayed over?
In my bed.
Sir?
Well, I don't think someone who stays 2 nights a week should have to pay rent.
Why not?
I guess.
Was it your agreement with him to move out?
I asked him to move out, yes, because
then
he
you
was
pay the rent.
not paying rent.
Then you pay the rent.
Well, he should have signed off the lease, which he refused to.
And what did you do?
I couldn't do anything. He wouldn't sign off the lease. He kept threatening to come back and get the copies of the keys so he could come in and...
Madam, where were you the last 2 years?
The last 2 years, I've had my own apartment and house, and I've working and going to school.
I mean, but where were you in the last 2 years? If you moved out in February of 2006, now we're talking about a year ago.
Yes.
Where were you in this last year?
I was trying to collect money from him,
But he weren't collecting. He didn't give you any money.
Exactly, I couldn't.
Well, then why didn't you sue him in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December? Why?
I was trying to be understanding of his situation with his car and everything like that, and he couldn't hold a job, so there's no way that he could give me any money.
What made you stop being understanding?
Well, because I'm just tired. It's ridiculous.
You lived in the apartment with sometimes Tracy? You pay the rent. What else?
He damaged my property, my couch, and stabbed my comforter.
Forget the comforter. I'm not interested in the 2-year-old comforter. How did he damage your couch?
He poured beer and dip spit all over it.
When?
On November 21st.
That's not true, ma'am.
You have a witness to that?
I do.
Go ahead.
On the day of November 21st, Desiree called me crying. I got over there. There was a gigantic hole in the wall when I walked in. The entire living room was trashed, stuff everywhere, food thrown around.
Where was he?
He was nowhere to be found.
Well, so you didn't see him do anything?
He was there that morning.
He was there that morning.
Just a second. You didn't see him do anything?
No, I didn't see him do anything, but the people that had stayed the night prior to that had seen him come over in the morning.
Goodbye. Thank you. You have that Mr. Tatum was the cause of any damage to your property.
Well, because he called me screaming after he did it.
What did he say?
I can't believe you had those guys stay the night.
What guys is he talking about?
We had been drinking at my apartment. I had friends stay the night.
How many friends?
2. They had slept on the couch. And that's when he came over that morning to get his things.
Yes.
And he freaked out.
How do you know that?
Well, because they told me they were there. And then he came in with a tire iron and hit the wall.
What?
and poured everything on my
You
couch.
have absolutely no proof that he did any of that.
I
And if
took
you have
pictures-
two friends that you allowed to sleep at your house after they were drinking who witnessed him do it.
They didn't witness him do it. They witnessed him come in and make a scene, and then they left, and then he came back after that. He told me. I talked to him on the phone afterwards.
Did you ever acknowledge to her
No,
that
ma'am.
you destroyed her property?
No, ma'am.
Time to move on. Time to move on and get over it. Do you understand?
Yes.
This is a court, not nonsense. Case is dismissed. That's all. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Guys. Now, it's case number 403 on the calendar in the matter of Thompson versus Stubblefield. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Thompson, you and the defendant were roommates for a short period of time.
Yes.
And it didn't work out.
Correct.
The defendant left. You claim that she owes you some money for a deposit on the apartment, for some rent and utility bills. Ms. Stubblefield says she owes you nothing. She's counterclaiming. She said you had no right to kick her out of the apartment, and she has no intention of paying you for an apartment that she didn't live in. You knew each other before you moved in together, I assume?
Yes.
For how long?
We knew each other previously. We lost contact for about 2 years. We met again in March of 2006.
And you moved into an apartment together on a month-to-month tenancy, am I correct?
Yes.
You didn't sign a lease?
No.
So there was nothing that precluded either one of you from moving out?
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
When did you move in?
I think at the beginning of September.
And what was the rent on the apartment, Miss Stubblefield?
I believe it was $695.
What do you mean you believe it was $695?
I never received a rental agreement.
Well, there was no rental agreement, madam. There was a month-to-month tenancy. There was nothing in writing, I assume.
We do have a copy of the rental agreement.
Oh, fine. Monthly rent was $625, and you were splitting that in half?
Yes.
Okay. Did you pay your September rent?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When did you move out?
It was October 12th.
Is that right?
No, it's not.
When was it?
October 26th.
What makes you think it was the 12th of October?
Because
Miss
it was
Stubble-
2 days after my paycheck on the 10th.
Well, let's say, for argument's sake, it was October the 12th, okay? Your rent was due 2 weeks before that. Did you pay October's rent?
I paid part of it.
When?
On the 25th of September.
What did you pay?
$250.
Show me.
She never gave me receipts.
Did you ask for one?
No, I did not.
Did she give you any rent towards October?
She gave me partial rent.
When?
On September 25th.
What'd she give you?
Let me just take a look here. I believe it was $320 that she gave me that day.
She said she gave you $250.
No, she did not.
So she gave you more.
Yes.
Her share of the rent was $312. So she had paid her October's rent.
Well, no, we had actually agreed that she was going to be splitting not only the rent, but the deposits as well. And because she did not have that money up front, I went ahead and paid for those deposits.
I see.
And she was paying me back, so she did not pay for her rent.
Okay, and what was the deposit?
The deposit was a total of $1162, I believe.
You didn't pay the deposit, is that correct?
No, but I did pay her back. I paid a total of $500 to her.
For what?
For the deposits and for my part of the rent.
So far, you said you paid rent in September.
Yes.
What did you give her for September's rent?
I gave her the 300 and something, I guess.
$312. And how much did you pay her towards the deposit in September?
I did not receive another paycheck until the 10th.
That's not what I asked you. I'm not asking you about your hardship. I'm asking you how much money you paid her towards the deposit.
None.
None. So that the $320 that you gave her on September 25th was for what?
For the rent and part of the deposit. That's what I thought it was for.
I don't care what you thought it was for.
She has actually paid me more money than she believes she paid me, Your Honor.
Perfect. How much did she pay you?
She paid me a total of $760 during the time that we lived together.
She sounds like an honest lady. Now, you want to tell me why you moved out.
When I first got in contact with her again, I was living with my baby's father, and it was not working out, so I asked and see if I can come stay with her in her one-bedroom apartment with my son part-time, and she said...
What do you mean with your son part-time?
Well, I had him part-time.
You have joint custody?
Yes.
Legally?
No.
Go ahead.
And then after living there for about a month or two, we decided that we were going to go and get a place together.
Got it.
And then once we moved into there, that's when she started changing and being very controlling, and everything had to be her way. And I couldn't do anything the way that I wanted to. If I did something wrong, she would get mad at me. She wouldn't let me turn the heat on when it was cold. She would take light bulbs out of the lamps and hide them so I couldn't turn any lights on. She would also lock the bathroom door so I could not get into there. And I thought it was not a very good situation for me and my son to live there anymore.
When did the boyfriend start staying at the house regularly?
He wasn't there regularly.
Yes, he was.
No.
I didn't say live there. I said, when did he start staying there regularly?
We met at the beginning of October, I think.
So that's when he started staying there?
Yes.
Prior to that, was there any difficulty with the plaintiff?
Yes, there was.
What kind of difficulty?
Very controlling.
Go ahead.
I was not controlling of her, and I did not kick her out of the apartment. I don't have any legal right to do so. I did contact the police the day before she moved out on her own free will.
Don't tell me what she did. That's my judgment to make.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You contacted the police for a reason. When?
On October
Put your hand down.
25th.
What?
October 25th.
And she was
I have
still
a copy
there
of that
October
report.
25th?
Yes,
Fine.
she was.
So she was still there. So she didn't move out on October 12th?
No, she did
moved
not.
out on October 25th. Let me see the police report. Okay, October 25th. There's a printout. You were still there on October 25th, according to this, locked yourself in your bedroom.
No, I locked myself in my bedroom.
You locked yourself in the bedroom?
Yes.
And the police responded?
Yes, they did.
Did you speak to them that night?
No, I was not there when there was police there.
Where did you go?
Went and stayed in a motel room because she kicked me out that night.
Well, tell me how she kicked you out.
Well, she came to my bedroom door that night around midnight and proceeded to yell and scream at me and saying that I owed her this much money, and I asked to see the bills, and she...
What time was it?
I thought it was around midnight.
What time was it?
It was actually around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
And I asked her to see if I could see the bills that she was talking about. She would not show them to me. And my boyfriend was behind the door.
This boyfriend?
Yes.
The one who stays over regularly?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Was standing behind the door so he could not see her. I was sitting on the bed covered up in sheets. And then I was done arguing because I didn't want to argue anymore with her because she was getting hysterical. And so I asked him to shut the door, and so he did.
Well, you hadn't paid any rent for the month of October.
Yes, I have.
No, you didn't. You can't pay both the deposit and the rent. You didn't pay that much money. Go ahead.
And so then we went out into the living room, and that's when she was going back and forth from the bathroom to her bedroom. And that's when she told me that we needed to leave right then and there because we broke the rental agreement.
How did she say you broke the rental agreement?
That is all she said to me, that I broke the rental agreement. And I told her no, because I had already put in my 30 days notice with the landlord.
Oh, when did you put in your 30 days notice?
It was earlier that month. I'm not exact on the day.
Well, you put it in October?
Yes.
But you didn't pay rent for October.
I wasn't going to until I was ready to.
Ah, that's right. So you didn't pay October's rent.
No.
So she was hysterical that you didn't pay October's rent.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't believe that's what I'm trying to testify to.
I don't care what you're trying to testify to. I asked you simple questions. So which one was it, a week or two?
I don't know. I'm not even going to bother.
All right, you're not going there.
And later today,
He was responsible and loving and gave you an opportunity to have a car, the car of your choice, and you blew it. Why are you mad at him?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jenny Lee Thompson claims former roommate Michelle Stubblefield owes for rent and bills.
Last name?
Last name Purvis, ma'am.
Where do you work, sir?
I'm a firefighter for Patrick National Corporation across the country.
How many nights a week did you spend at the defendant's home?
I think at that time it had been a total of 8 nights.
8 nights in the month of October, because that's when you met, right? You met the month. Listen to me very carefully, sir. You met sometime in the month of October. When in October?
I came back from fire on September 28th. I stayed home for 2 weeks, so it had to have been the first, let's see,
Don't
third?
look at her, look at me.
I'm looking at her for confirmation. I think it was the 3rd or 4th of October.
That's when you met?
That's when we met.
Where did you meet?
We met at Countryside. It's a rock and rodeo kind of place, kind of a bar, tavern type thing.
And when did you start staying over at her house?
Staying with her regularly?
No. When did you start staying over at her house, sir?
I believe it was like a week or 2 later that we met up.
Well, let's say a week or 2 later.
Yes,
let's say a week later. So the October
About
10th.
the 10th.
And she left, according to her, on the 12th.
Accordingly, sir.
But according to the police, it was the 20th.
And you know, that's
Fifth.
interesting, the whole police report, because I don't believe I've heard anything about that. And as my job as a firefighter, ma'am, I would be...
Listen to me.
Yes,
Listen
ma'am.
to me. 25th.
Yes, ma'am. 25th, then.
So let's take your numbers. You have the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. You have 15 nights. And of the 15 nights, you were there one half the time. According to you, a little more than 55% of the time. Those are your numbers.
I understand what you're saying, ma'am. I don't believe that's what I'm trying to testify to.
I don't care what you're trying to testify to. I asked you simple questions. How many nights did you sleep there? You said 8. When did you start sleeping there? You told me on the 10th, because you met on the 3rd. You said maybe it was 2 weeks later. Well, if it was 2 weeks after you met, then you spent every night there. So which one was it, a week or 2?
I don't know. I'm not even going to bother.
All right, you're not going there.
Well, I'm not going to jump up and say I'm wrong, either.
You see where I'm going, sir?
Well, ma'am, may I test? May
I know, I'm asking the questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking the questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you ever at the house where the defendant's child was there?
I was.
How often?
Maybe a day that he actually stayed the night there.
And when he stayed and spent the night there, did he stay in his own room?
No, ma'am. He has his own bed in her room.
And where did you stay?
In the room.
With her?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is the child?
The child was, at the time, 16, 17 months.
Now, Mr. Purvis, you could briefly tell me what you want to say, sir, and say it because I have other fish to fry today.
Copy. The night in question, and when she told her to leave, and she did tell her to leave because she told both of us to leave, she had violated a roommate agreement or rental agreement, which I can't recall now because there's been 2 different things said. But I know that she asked us to leave, and she was acting very hysterical. And the time that I first started hanging out, I actually met her at the bar. I actually hit on Jen first. That's how I met her.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to go through your social history? Go on,
It's
Jerry
not a
Springer.
social... I'm just
Listen
trying...
to me very carefully, sir. She did break the rental agreement. She didn't pay October's rent.
Copy.
That's breaking the rental agreement.
Copy.
This is the rental agreement. It says the 2 of them lived there. They were both supposed to pay rent. She didn't pay October's rent. Not only didn't she pay October's rent, but half the time you were there. Half the time in October, you were there. According to you. I didn't make that up. You gave me the information.
From midnight
so
to
not
8.
only... I don't care if it was midnight to 7 a.m., sir, you were there. So not only didn't she pay rent, but she had company and didn't pay rent. So she had right to be angry. And if she said, I want you to move out, she didn't have to leave.
That's not how she said it, ma'am.
I don't care if she says get out. You don't have to leave.
She threatened her, ma'am.
I don't care what she said, sir.
Okay.
The fact that she was afraid of being put out, and maybe you didn't want to be involved, maybe you should have gone to the place where you spend the other half
At
of
my house.
October. Fine. Listen, who else lives in your house?
I have 2 other roommates. I live on campus.
Good. Can't she come to stay with you?
Absolutely.
Great. Is that what you did?
Absolutely, when she doesn't have her kid.
No. Listen to me. She didn't have her kid that night of the 25th.
Oh, the 25th? No, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't have a child there the 25th.
Well...
So did she come and spend the night with you?
About the date, the 25th, but...
Did she come and spend the night with you?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because at that time, we have a roommate agreement, and we all have our own nights of the house, because there's 3 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. So that night was not my night to be there.
Oh, so you had to find a girlfriend to
No, I don't.
Oh, I got it.
I have another home.
Oh, I got it now. Now, Mr. Purvis, when you left that night, where did you go?
To a motel.
You did.
Yes, ma'am.
You would have had to have gone someplace else to sleep anyway, Mr. Purvis, because you have a roommate agreement, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I assume you paid for the motel.
I did.
Good. Now, the next night, you are allowed back in your room?
Yeah, my place is fine.
Because somebody else had to go find a girlfriend.
No.
Right?
No.
Right? Did you take her back with you the second night?
She actually did stay with me a couple nights after that.
Great, terrific. So the first night you would have had to have paid for a motel room. This time you had a comfy roommate to spend it with, because that's part of her counterclaim, which is nonsense. A, you didn't have to leave, Miss Stubblefield, when she told you to leave. If you'd paid your rent, you may have had difficulty, but you certainly would have had more of a case if you paid your rent. You can't keep yourself there, not only yourself, but yourself in company without paying. Anyway, are you still in the apartment?
Yes, I am.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Do you live by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Very smart.
Yes.
You're $395 and your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Parties
Honor.
are excused. You may step out.
Well, she kind of ruined it when she tried to control what I did and what I couldn't do.
In reality, she's very naive and ignorant.
Everything had to be her way.
And doesn't believe that she owes anybody anything.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Rios versus Mendez. Step forward, please.
24-year-old Lorena Rios is suing her uncle, Jesus Mendez, for the return of car payments on a 2006 Toyota Corolla. Lorena claims her uncle illegally repossessed the vehicle.
Mr. Mendez is your uncle. Is he your father's brother or your mother's brother?
My mom's brother.
There came a time when you wanted to buy a car, and you didn't have good enough credit to buy a car on your own. I assume that your mother didn't have good enough credit to help you out, so you went to your uncle, and you said, would you do me a favor and co-sign a loan for me? And because he probably loves his sister and cares for you, he said, I will do that for you, but these are the conditions. right? Mm-hmm. And what were the conditions, Miss Rios?
His conditions were pretty much for me not to let him down with the payments. So
he gave you specifics, not just to not let him down. He gave you specifics. And what were the specifics?
That I made my payments on time.
And what was on time?
On time? Well, pretty much...
No, look at me. You had an agreement with him to make payment on a specific date every month. Mm-hmm. What was that date?
They told me...
That day.
The 21st.
That's not what you say in here. Here you say the 18th of the month in your complaint.
The 18th is the due date.
No. Granted, there were a few months when I paid him past our agreed date of the 18th of the month. Not the 21st, the 18th. Now, you didn't pay all the time on the 18th of the month. And when I say pay, pay your uncle. Because then your uncle had to pay the bank. And on what date was the payment due at the bank?
The 19th, Your Honor.
The 19th?
The 19th of every month.
Was probably later, sir, because I can't imagine you making the same date with her to pay as was due at the bank. Why don't you stand up and help him, please? Are you his wife?
I am his wife.
Okay. Who takes care of the paperwork?
I do.
I figured.
She's the boss.
What was the due date on the loan?
The due date on the loan was at the 19th, and we have 10 days of a grace period.
Stand there in case I need you again, would you please?
Not a problem.
So, Ms. Rios, you didn't make your payments all the time on time, and your uncle was getting on your case.
Right.
So you called the bank yourself, and they told you at the bank, well, your payments weren't late. You know, your payments were on time because they had a 10-day grace period, right?
Right.
So you said to them, why are you bothering me? Payments aren't due till the 29th of the month. Why are you bothering me? Because I made the payments on the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th. You have 10 days, right?
Right.
And finally, he got fed up and he took your car.
Right.
So you want him to pay you for all the money you put into the car for the 10 or 11 months that you had it.
Yeah.
Wrong. Wrong.
Or at least give me the car back.
No, it's not going to give you the car back. You had a contract with him. Irrespective of his agreement with the bank, your contract with him was that on the 19th of the month, he would have your money. Not having to come look for you on the 20th or the 21st or the 22nd or the 23rd or sweating the fact that he wasn't going to get a payment that month. You breached your contract with him. Do you understand that?
Right. However, the car's still under both of our names, though.
So?
So what, he just gets to keep the car?
Well, he's going to have to pay for it.
And I just left with nothing, no car, no nothing.
That's right. You used the car for 11 months or however long you used it. And if you had made the payments on time to your uncle as you were contractually obligated to, because that was your agreement, you would have had your car. You were irresponsible. He was responsible and loving and gave you an opportunity to have a car, the car of your choice, and you blew it. Why are you mad at him? You should be mad at yourself. You blew it. You should say to him, thank you, I'm sorry I disappointed you.
Okay. So then what do I do now? The car's still under my name and...
You want to know what I do to protect yourself? I'm going to give you this bit of advice. I would sign the whole thing over to him so that you're not stuck in case somebody has an accident with the car or anything else. So, Ms. Rios, I explained that to you. Well, I hope you understand it. You're growing up to be an adult. When you make a contract with somebody, you're supposed to live by the terms of that contract. And if you don't come to court to cry about it. Consider that you had a very expensive rental car for 11 months because you did drive it for 11 months if you put on 36,000 miles on the car, right?
Right.
Right? Good. That was your rental. Now buy a car that you can afford by yourself. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. You've been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
What's your daughter's name, the one who's in the car with the defendant's stepdaughter?
My daughter's name is Vanessa.
Vanessa, could you step up with your mother? Where's your stepdaughter, sir?
Yeah.
Step up here. What's your first name?
Michelle.
You want Mr. Overton to be responsible for your car that your daughter was using. I assume because she's a minor, it's registered in your name? Because the defendant's stepdaughter was driving the car. You say she exercised undue influence over your daughter. She's older. To force her to let her drive the car. The car was totaled. Mr. Overton's stepdaughter tells a very different version of the events. Neither one of the two adults were present during the course of these events. So I'm going to find out from the girls what happened, because you want Mr. Overton to be responsible for the following: the $250 insurance deductible on the car, a towing fee of a couple of $100, and also $1,000 in equity that you or your daughter had in the car so that you could go out and buy another one, right?
Yes. And in addition, my insurance also covered for over $1,000 of medical expenses for Michelle.
She was injured?
Yes, some wrist injury.
So she was injured? But
yes.
Your insurance covered that?
Yes, my insurance covered everything.
Okay. Well, what you have so far is $450 worth of expense. So you want to tell me why you think they should pay you $1,450?
Okay. I think it's important for my daughter to tell what happened on the day of the accident.
Okay, fine. On what date was this incident?
November 26th.
And who was in the car?
Me and Michelle.
I was in the car with Michelle, or Michelle and I were in the car.
Michelle and I, yes.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
How long has your mother let you drive this car?
She had been letting me drive it for about 2 months.
And tell me how it came about that Michelle was driving the car. Look at me when you tell this story.
Okay, from the start, me and Michelle, she asked me to take her for a drive. So we left South Eugene High School, and I told her no when she asked to drive my car.
No, she asked you to take a drive.
Yes.
Where
But
did
she
she ask
also
you to
asked you
go? Don't speak to your daughter. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you may believe her, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe her. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to believe everything that she tells me, because if it doesn't make sense, I don't believe it. You're her mother, you want to believe her. Go ahead.
Okay, so we left.
You're in school. You're in class.
I didn't have class that period.
Where did you meet Michelle?
I saw her in the hallways.
And said hello?
Yes.
She said hello?
Yes.
What was the next thing that was said?
To tell you the truth, I don't remember.
Good. How did you get into the car?
I remember her asking to drive, and I told her no.
Where were you when she asked you to drive?
She asked me repeatedly to drive my car.
I don't care. You're not answering my question, madam. You're in school, and somehow you got to the car. I'm not interested in where you want to go with my questions. I'm interested in where I want to go with my questions. Do you understand?
I understand.
So you're in school. How did you get to the car?
We walked to the car.
Why?
Because we went for a drive.
Now, when you say we went for a drive, you were driving.
I was driving.
Good. Where were you going?
We were just driving.
So you were taking a ride?
Yes.
Had you ever driven in the car with her before?
Yes, I have.
Had she ever asked you to drive your car before?
Yes, I have.
Shh.
I mean,
Yes, she
has.
And did you ever let her drive your car before?
No, I did not.
Did it make you uncomfortable when she asked you to drive the car?
No, it did not, but I did not want her to drive my car.
You answer my questions. Prior to November 26th, she had been in your car and she had asked you to drive the car before.
Yes.
Often?
Yes.
And did it make you uncomfortable when she asked you to drive the car?
Yes, because she...
Then why did you let her get into the car on November 26th?
Because we were friends.
Don't put your hand up.
Okay.
Do you understand where I'm going?
Yes, ma'am.
Where I'm going is, if somebody asks you to do the wrong thing, which is, I want to drive your car, and you're not supposed to let anybody else drive your car, then you don't put yourself into that position by letting them get into your car so that they can ask, can I drive it again? Can I drive it again? Can I drive it again? Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Good.
You're
Okay.
right.
Right. So there we have fault, blame.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Make sure that you don't give me any of this baloney story about her fainting. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand, Mr. Overton? That was a lot of what? Right!
And later today,
Let's not be foolish here, because I'm not stupid, and I wouldn't expect you to think that I think that you're stupid. So giving you ownership of the car would make him an idiot. You're not an idiot, are you?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-old Vanessa Shoemate says former friend 17-year-old Michelle Negron totaled her car. Michelle says she had Vanessa's permission to drive.
So now you're in the car, and she asks you again, can I drive the car?
Yes.
And you said?
I said no.
So what happened?
I pulled over on the side of the street after we were driving for a bit, and I told her she could drive because she had asked me repeated times while we were driving on that trip.
So finally you gave her permission to drive the car.
I did.
And she crashed it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your version.
We were leaving...
Make sure that you don't give me any of this baloney story about her fainting that you put in here, okay? I don't want to hear any baloney story about her fainting, and she asked you to drive the car for 3 blocks. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
We were leaving school. We were actually going to get something to eat. And we got to the store. She went in and got something to eat. She came back out.
and I did ask her to drive. She said no, and then I asked her again, and then she said yes.
Fine. You see how simple it was when we got rid of that fainting baloney that you told your stepfather? Do you understand, Mr. Overton?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I know you wrote in your answer that she was going to faint, and my daughter didn't want her to faint, so she said she would drive. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of what?
Bull.
Right! Correct. So, your daughter insisted, didn't insist, asked once, asked twice. That doesn't mean she's supposed to say yes. That means that they're both responsible for what happened. Would that be a fair statement, Mr. Overton?
Yes, it would.
Good. So, you feel that you should be responsible for half of those expenses?
Yes, ma'am.
So?
Your Honor, I would like to ask our witness, Stephanie, to come forward because she has a pretty important piece of information.
Sure. Stephanie, step up. Stephanie, what do you want to tell me?
Just about an incident prior to the accident.
Go ahead.
Vanessa, Shelley, and I were on our free period, and we were going to go get food. So we go to Vanessa's car, and Vanessa forgot something in her locker. So she went back to go get it, and Shelley asked before she left, "Can I drive your car?" And Vanessa said no. But then Shelley gets into the driver's seat, and Shelley turned on the car, and I asked her, "Do you have your license?" And she said yes. And
Your Honor, that's not true.
Go ahead.
She backed up the car, drove forward a little bit, right in front of Vanessa when she was coming back from her locker.
So, I mean, what are you trying to tell me? I don't understand. This is a whole big story that I don't understand. What are you trying to tell me?
That she drove her car prior to the incident before the accident. Like, she had asked to drive her car and had been nagging on her. And
That's what you want to tell me. She asked and she nagged. Listen to me. Where do you live?
Eugene.
Okay. Are there any bridges in Eugene, Oregon?
Maybe one.
Is there a bridge there?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Shelley says to Vanessa, "I want you to stand on top of the bridge, and I want you to see if you can dive down, right? I want you to see if you can dive down and come up." "Oh, no, I'm not going to do that." "But I want you to see. I want to just see if you can float, if you can dive down here and you can float." "I don't want to do that." "Oh, please, won't you do that?" "Okay." You don't do something you're not supposed to do because you nag. You say it's because she's older?
No, her statement was that my daughter had gone to her locker and said, "Don't drive my car." Michelle got into the driver's seat when my daughter wasn't present and drove her car.
Is that when there was an accident?
No.
No,
but
of course
it indicated that Michelle was willing to do something that wasn't right when she knew she didn't have a license, when she had been asked to not
Your
drive.
daughter did the wrong thing.
I know that, Your Honor. And your
Fine.
daughter
So
has
what
been
I'm
given
saying
consequences.
so what I'm saying to you is, she gave her permission to drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
It would be no different from your daughter giving a 6-year-old permission to get behind the wheel of your car.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
It's no different from giving another minor. She stands in your place when she's driving your car. You are the car owner. You are the owner of that weapon.
Right, so
A weapon is an automobile in the hands of someone who is inappropriately skilled to drive it. You have the choice. You have given that weapon to your 16-year-old daughter, and you are responsible for the misjudgments of your 16-year-old daughter. So if you can't rely on your daughter not to exercise perfect judgment, you have to accept the consequences. Because but for your actions, Mr. Overton wouldn't be here. You got to follow that logic. That has to be crystal clear to you. Mrs. Shoemate, you exercise judgment by giving your daughter permission to have that car. And but for that fact, we all wouldn't be here today. And she wouldn't have gotten injured. He could turn around and sue you for the injuries that his daughter sustained because you exercised bad judgment in giving your daughter permission to have a car when she didn't know how to say no. So you should be grateful that I find that he, because I'm hoping that he will force her to do the right thing, is responsible for half of the $450, not the $1,000 that you want in addition to that, but half of the $450 that you had in out-of-pocket expenses. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $225. That's it. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was told that my daughter had been in an accident.
My daughter made a mistake, and we've put a lot of consequences into place because of that.
I was a little upset and worried about her.
I've learned a lot from this. I was not like hounding her for the keys at all. I tried to talk to Shelly, but she seemed very like she didn't even realize that what she did. We're not friends anymore.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Martins versus Seitz. Step forward, please.
24-year-old engineer Jeremy Martins is suing his ex-fiancée, 23-year-old orthodontic assistant Keely Seitz, for the cost of a car lease. Keely is countersuing for the money she put into the vehicle.
Mr. Martins, according to what I've read, you and the defendant were either engaged to be married or boyfriend and girlfriend back in the year 2000.
Yes.
Were you engaged?
For a short amount of time, we were engaged.
And during that brief period of time, you decided to lease a car for her, and she didn't have sufficient credit, so the lease was in your name.
That's correct.
But it was clear the arrangement was that this was her car, and she would be making the payments on the lease. Is that right, Ms. Seitz?
Your Honor, we did lease the car together, and he told me on several occasions that I had terrible credit, but to come to find out that I have not.
Don't get into your spin yet. Let's just stay with the facts, the basic facts. The car was leased in his name, but was for your use, and you agreed to make the payments. Is that correct?
My name was also on the car, too.
Fine. And you broke up when?
The summer of 2001.
And you were the one who drove the car from September of 2000 to August of 2001. And when you broke up, you took the car.
That's correct.
And when you left, you started your life anew. So what happened, Ms. Seitz? You had the car, and then you returned it to him at some point.
Yes, I did.
When did you return the car to him?
In November of 2002.
You didn't need it anymore?
I asked him on countless times if he would please sign the vehicle over to me, and he's told me, kept on telling me that I had bad credit and that it was too much paperwork and things like that.
Just a second. In November of 2002, how much time did you have left on the lease?
I think about another 2 years.
But you decided to buy another car?
Correct.
What month did you buy another car?
In December of 2002.
So, Mr. Martins, you got stuck with the car and turn-in fees, etc., and you feel as if she should be responsible for that?
That's correct.
And what were those fees?
To end the lease early, it cost $3,746.95.
How come you're only suing for $1,800?
In the state of Kansas, $1,800 is the max you could ask for.
I see. And Ms. Seitz, you are counterclaiming because you say you used your car as a down payment back in the year 2000 for this lease.
Correct.
And since he turned the car in, you should get your down payment back. Is that right?
Correct.
Don't bet the farm on that. That comes under the category of chutzpah, which means a lot of nerve. You drove this car for 3 years. What makes you think you're entitled to anything?
Well, Your Honor, I honestly asked him on several occasions if he would sign over the vehicle to me so it'd be just in my name, and he would not.
Let me ask you this question, Ms. Seitz. When you asked him just to sign the vehicle over to you, had you made arrangements with the financing and the lending institution to take his name off the loan?
He said that he was going to look into that.
No. You look into it. You're driving the car. Why should he look into anything? There's a difference between taking his name off the car and giving it to you and still being responsible for the underlying loan. Do you understand the difference?
Yes.
Sure you do. So let's not be foolish here, because I'm not stupid, and I wouldn't expect you to think that I think that you're stupid. So giving you ownership of the car and him still having the liability would make him an idiot. You're not an idiot, are you?
No, ma'am.
Of course not. So why would he do such a thing? If you make arrangements to lease the car yourself and to have him released from any obligation to the lending institution, fine. But you just wanted him to turn it over to you? Ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why do you think you should get anything back and not owe him a substantial amount of money?
Because I feel I put down the car, which was $6,000, and I faithfully made payments to him for 2 years.
You made payments for the car. He took the money so that he wouldn't get stuck, so that at some point you couldn't say, well, I made the payment, and then the company says you didn't make the payment, so you made the payment to him. He wrote out his check to the company. He didn't make any money off this deal. It cost him $4,000 for you to have a car. You think that's fair? Do you think that's fair? Because you wanted a new car, you managed to get a new car, you said, I got this old lease, and I'm going to be the only person in creation who's going to be able to walk away from a 5-year lease. Listen, you're not entitled to anything back from him. He is entitled to the $1,800, which is the maximum allowed in his jurisdiction, which is all he's suing for, of $1,800. It cost him $4,000 because you wanted a new car. If you had kept the lease for the next 2 years, like you agreed to, he wouldn't have had a $4,000 expenditure. That was your agreement. You were going to keep the car and make the payments. You just wanted a new car. Period. It doesn't mean you can walk away from your obligations just because he was nice enough to put his name on the form. Get real. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,800. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Is this your sister?
Yes, it is.
According to your complaint, some time ago you purchased a house for your mother. The house was in close proximity to where your sister lives.
Yeah.
And the intention was that your sister would take care of your mother because her health was failing. You live far away.
300 miles.
Your mother did pass away when?
In December. We buried her Christmas Eve.
Of 2001?
Yes.
And it is your claim that your sister did some unauthorized things with the house. She rented it to someone without your knowledge, and the renters caused damage to the house. You want the money that she took in rent and also to pay for the damage done to the house.
She also sold the appliances that we had in the house.
Your sister says she made certain executive decisions with regard to the house. In whose name is this house titled?
Ours, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
That's correct. You know, Your Honor, I originally thought it was my mom's house. As a matter of fact, I thought it was the sweetest thing they ever did was buy my mom a house as a gift.
Just what?
Okay.
House is titled in your name?
Yes,
Correct,
it is.
Your Honor.
Okay.
After your mother passed away in December, what kind of communications did you have with your sister with regard to the house?
When she agreed to keep an eye on the house and I gave her a key for emergencies, seeing it's in Chicago and it's wintertime, I was in constant contact with her, and I have a copy of my cell phone bill showing how many times I did call her, and it stops when she refused to start answering the phone.
How come you hadn't put the house on the market for sale?
We didn't put it on for sale.
No, we weren't sure what we were going to do with the house.
Well, what were your options?
Sell it, rent it.
Okay. Was there any financial arrangement between you and your sister that you were going to pay her any money with regard to keeping an eye on the house?
No.
No.
Now, when did you go to the house and find that there were tenants there?
This was on April 12th, 2002. We had a chance or an opportunity to go there to check up on the house and find out why she hadn't been answering the phone. We walked in, I found the door unlocked. We found cars in the backyard. I seen my sister standing right there as soon as I walked in the house. And she's standing there with her hands on her hips, and she sees me. And the first thing out of her mouth was, they won't pay me the second month's rent. It was amazing, unbelievable.
You say there were appliances that were sold. What appliances were sold?
Washer, dryer, refrigerator, 2 TVs, VCR.
Air conditioner that came with the house.
We came in, everything was gone.
When you came in on April 12th, everything was gone?
Everything was out of the house. I asked her how come she did it. She says, I needed money. So then I confronted her about the house. She says, well, you weren't living there. And I says, we didn't tell you to sell anything. We didn't tell you to rent it. I mean, it's not yours to rent, and it's not your things to sell.
Yeah. Okay, I'll hear from you now. Your mother passed away in December of 2001. You were watching the house. So, tell me what happened.
Oh, my sister says she saw strangers there. This is a friend of ours from grammar school. Her son needed a place to stay. The house was vacant, and I was in between jobs, so I thought I would make it a win-win situation. I would make a couple extra dollars. I was going to tell her, I didn't stop taking your calls. That's all made up. I never stopped taking your calls.
Just a second. Just talk to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. But anyways, I just thought I was helping somebody. I really thought, my friend's son needed a place to stay. He just had a newborn baby. There's an empty place there. Nobody's in there. It's the middle of winter. I was going to rent it out, but then he was short on money, and he didn't have any money, and I wanted to wait to tell her until I had money. I was going to tell her, but I wanted to pay her. And I really
tell me about
sold
the appliances
because I needed the money. When he didn't come up with any money for rent, he gave me $200, and I needed to pay some bills too. And then
Those aren't my sister's appliances. Those are all my mom's things. She may have bought the house that I thought was my mother's, but she didn't. Those are my mom's things.
What things were your mom's?
It's my mom's furniture.
No. We're talking about appliances.
Okay, my mom's appliances, my mom's furniture, my mom's everything that was in there.
Let me ask
is
you
not
this
my
question.
sister's.
When you purchased the house,
yeah,
was there a refrigerator in the house?
No, Your Honor, we had previously purchased all of these appliances for my mother before we even bought the house for her. She had those in her apartment, and we have receipts.
You have her
using our charge card to pay for the items.
No, just a second. Wait. You purchased those things for your mother.
Correct.
As a gift.
Yes.
For her old apartment.
Yes.
Right.
Once you make a gift to someone, they're no longer yours. So if your mother moved those things into the house, those items of personal property become part of her estate. Don't belong to you. Are there two siblings, just the two of you?
No, Your Honor.
How many children are there?
We have 2 others, but they're not involved in any of them.
Well, I can't make any judgment with regard to the appliances. The appliances are not yours. Do you understand that? Once you purchased them for your mother and gave them to her for her old place, they became her property, not your property anymore. The fact that your sister sold them is wrong, but it's not just you that's involved if you have 2 other siblings, because if you wish to make a big deal about it, then what you do is you have to get all 4 siblings, decide what the property was sold for, and each of you would get 1/4 of that. You would not get 100% of it.
So if we buy it and pay for it ourselves, it's not ours no more.
No, it is not yours. Not if you give it to somebody else. It's not yours anymore. You gave it to somebody. I'll put it to you another way. Let's say that your mother purchased appliances for you and gave them to you for your house, which is what you did for your mother. Yeah. And you moved them into a second house or a third house. Whose appliances are they?
Okay.
Whose appliances are they? They're yours. Somebody gave you a gift. Your mother-in-law gave you a gift. You made a gift to your mother. There was no arrangement with her that the title to this property would remain in your name, that you were just loaning these items to her. You were being good children.
May I make a comment about what Joan had said earlier?
Yes.
She did know that the house was under our name because...
you guys, and you know. Yes, you did. Even if you didn't care. Even if you didn't care. You had no right to exercise any control over that property. And if you didn't know that the property was in their name, then you should have found out. And I'm going to tell you why else I know that you knew the property was in your sister's and her husband's name. Because if you needed money, it's clear from what you say, you were in desperate need for money because you had bills to pay, you were in desperate need for money, you would have said to your sister, we have to sell the house because I need the money because I'm really stressed out now financially.
Well, Judge, can I say something?
Sure.
The situation just came about. I didn't go look for a tenant. It's just somebody needed...
You knew the house was in their name, and you had no... Yes, you did.
No, Eddie. You could ask Eddie. I called him, and we talked when he bought that. I was crying. I told him that it was the sweetest thing he ever had done for... I ever heard of anyone doing for somebody.
How old was your mother?
She was in her 70s. And he gave that to her as a Christmas gift.
Baloney.
That's what he
was... Listen. Why in the world would these people, who are not stupid people, make a gift to a woman who was probably not in very good health, in her 70s, and knowing that if she passed away in 2 months or 3 months, that property would become part of an estate and would be divided among 4 children?
No, I didn't.
4 children.
I didn't look ahead to what would happen.
You don't look ahead at all, madam.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She admitted it to the police that she collected $600.
I didn't tell the police any of that.
Oh, quiet down.
I'm not trying to, Your Honor.
I'm reading something. Could you be quiet? I mean, are you on medication?
I'm not on medication.
Good, then be quiet.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Mary and Edward Gonzalez say Mary's sister, Joan Pulowski, rented their home and sold their belongings without permission. Joan says she thought the house was owned by her deceased mother.
Okay. How much did you get for the rent for the first month?
$200.
What kind of damage was done to the property?
Your Honor, they told us they paid her $600.
They didn't.
Sir, listen to me. That's hearsay.
Your
Could
Honor,
I see the damage that was done to the house?
She admitted it to the police that she collected $600, and I have a copy of the police report.
No, I didn't.
That's a copy of the police report, and she admits it to the police.
I didn't tell the police any of that.
Well, that's the police report.
Oh, quiet down.
But I did not, because I know what they gave me. And that's why I was telling you that they didn't give me the rest, otherwise I would have given you something. You guys, I'm not trying to, Your Honor.
I'm reading something. Could you be quiet? I mean, are you on medication?
No, I'm not.
Good.
I'm not on medication.
Good, then be quiet. Well, this doesn't say that she was paid $600. This says she agreed to rent them the premises for $600 a month since it was vacant. It doesn't say she was paid $600. Okay. Now let me see photographs of the damage that was done to the house.
The Polaroids, Your Honor, are the damages after we cleaned the place out.
It took us 2 days to clean the place up, Your Honor.
And the house, we bought the house, it was totally remodeled. Everything
It
was
had brand new rugs, walls. It was all brand new done. There's holes everywhere. The rugs were totally trashed.
Your Honor, my mom lived there for a little while, too. It's not like it was brand new.
Your Honor.
How long was your mother there?
Just 2 weeks. But we were all, my 3 kids were there, too. And
Well, if your kids were there and your mother was there for 2 weeks, then you're responsible for this damage.
Well, maybe, I don't know exactly what damages they saw. I didn't see it all, but I know
Well,
that
I'll show you.
I know the carpets weren't clean. I know that was one of the things she said.
They were
but
brand new carpets, Your Honor, when she moved
those
in.
carpets were not clean when I gave my friend the key.
Well, then your kids made a mess of the carpets.
I'm sorry.
Well, then you pay for it.
I could have cleaned it. I own a carpet cleaner, but they wouldn't allow it after I...
Show this to the defendant, please. She's
You know,
outrageous.
Your Honor,
You're outrageous.
really, this is a little bit going overboard. My mom would be very outraged that we were in court about this.
That's probably true. Your behavior was outrageous.
And then, Your Honor, I ran out of film and I couldn't photograph the screens on the windows. They're either missing or split, broken.
Listen to me. She didn't take care of your property. You weren't gone very long. From December 2001 until April, we're only talking about 4 months.
Well,
in 4 months, they made a real mess out of the premises, because I believe that at the time that your mother moved in, you would not have moved your mother into a place that was not immaculate.
Right.
Well, you know, these people, they were only living there a month, Your Honor. That damage was done in a month. They busted the back door. They busted the bathroom door.
I see.
Totally
I
trashed it.
I see. And I see what you're suing for, which is really pretty minimal, $3,900. It cost you more than that to clean up this mess. All right. It's very unfortunate. I'm sure your mother would not like the fact that 2 sisters are in court fighting with each other over this kind of thing. But your actions were absolutely 100% wrong and inappropriate. How much did you pay for this house?
$70,000.
I think you ought to sell it. Probably be a good idea if you sold it.
I agree.
Yeah, you don't want to live too close, because you never know. If you're not there, you're an absentee person. Your sister might get angry with you one day. You never know what's going to happen. In any event, it'll cost you at least $3,900 to put this place back in order. That's what you're suing for, judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My mother would be rolling over in her grave right now.
She's not family. She did not do what family does.
I think my sister's making a big deal about it. It's just a big baby.
She's a user.
We could have worked this out together, but no.
Personally, I'll never have nothing to do with her.
Don't fight over money. It's not worth it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cox versus Sinius. Step forward, please.
19-year-old student Jody Cox is suing her former friend, 19-year-old student Jerry Sinius, for damage to a car that was rented in her name.
Ms. Cox, the defendant was a friend of yours, and according to your complaint, you were foolish enough to rent a car for him, your name, using your credit card. Is that right?
Well, the car, it was in his name. I was the second driver. He just needed me as a second driver so he could use the credit card.
So you used your credit card?
Yes.
But the intention was for him to use the car?
Yes, I wasn't going to be there at all. I was just doing him a favor. This way he could take his trip, and he told me he was going to pay for everything in cash.
Where was he going?
Virginia, I believe.
But you weren't going to be on the trip. The car was for him. Is that right, sir?
Correct.
And then the car got smashed up?
Yes.
And they've sued you?
No, well, they charged me, and
on
my
the credit
mother paid
card,
it off.
on your credit card?
Yes.
How much did they charge your credit card?
$1,400. I have a statement.
I'd like to see it, please.
I also have the estimate for the damage and a picture of the car.
I just want to see what they charged you.
Okay.
$1,400. When did you take this trip, sir?
On the 12th of April, I believe it was.
And there's no question that the car was damaged while you had it on this trip?
Correct.
Let's hear you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jody Cox says former friend Jerry Sinius wrecked a car rented in her name. Jerry says he wasn't driving when the accident occurred.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we took the trip, right? On
Who's
the way
we?
back, me and my other 2 friends, Kenneth and Roy. We took the trip.
Which one is this?
This is Kenneth. On the way back, I was a little tired, so I let him drive the car, right? But me and Jody had the understanding that he would be the second driver. So on the way back, we got into an accident.
Just a minute. You had that understanding with her?
Correct.
Is that right?
We had to understand that he would be driving to Virginia, and if he got tired, someone else would drive. Yes.
Which was Kenneth.
Yeah.
All right. Now, on the way back, Kenneth got into a little accident. and hit the side of the car. And then we took it back to the rental place, and they said that I thought at first the insurance would cover it, but it didn't. So
Why not?
I don't know the reason.
Do you know the reason?
No, they didn't even tell me this. I didn't even know until I got the credit card statement.
Well, me, Kenneth, and Roy, we came to agreement that the person who was behind the wheel would tell Jody.
Who asked her for the use of her credit card?
I asked her.
He was your friend?
Yes, he was a good friend of mine as well.
What about Kenneth?
He was a friend, but I was good friends with Jerry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we came to that agreement that Kenneth would tell Jody about the accident. Well, he didn't. So she found out through the statement. Well, so I felt, me personally, I felt I wasn't responsible for the accident being the fact that I wasn't behind the wheel. Had I was behind the wheel, I would take full responsible for it. But I wasn't behind the wheel, so I don't feel I was responsible.
I don't think you're a bad person. A little shifty, maybe. But let me just outline what you've testified to. And you tell me, because I really don't think that you're a bad person. Misguided, maybe. So let me outline what we have. She was a good friend of yours.
Correct.
You asked her, you, alone, asked her for a favor.
Correct.
The favor was, can I use your credit card? Some friends of mine and I want to take a trip.
Correct.
And I don't have a credit card to use. Can I use your credit card? She says yes. Rent a car and you go on the trip.
Correct.
You get tired. Yeah. She didn't get tired.
You're right.
You got tired. You have the following choices when you get tired. You can pull off the road and take a nap. You can say, I've driven enough today. You chose to allow your friend to drive the car. She didn't have your friend drive the car. You chose, you, who had the original agreement with her, let your friend drive the car. He gets into an accident. Were you sleeping at the time?
Yes, I was.
So you don't know about the accident?
No.
You don't know what happened?
Not exactly.
You have no idea what happened. Then, instead of you telling your friend who went out on a limb for you, listen, we had an accident, and let's see what the responsibility is here, you decide to let Kenneth tell her.
But we came to agreement.
Not with her.
With him.
With him?
Yes.
What does that have to do with her?
Nothing.
Right. Nothing. She's the innocent. Little stupid, but innocent. Now, you don't say to Kenneth a few hours later, did you call Miss Cox and tell her about the accident?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say to you?
I asked him, did he call her? He didn't reply.
He didn't reply, and that was good enough for you.
He said he was going to call her.
He said he was going to call her.
Correct.
So then did you say to him the next day, did you call her and let her know about the accident?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
He said, I'm going to call her.
You didn't say to him, let's sit down right now, because this is not right. She did me a favor. The favor was, let me use her credit card.
Correct.
Let's sit down right now and you pick up that phone and call her and tell her that you had an accident. You didn't do that, right? You just figured.
That he would call and tell her.
You believe that Kenneth is responsible?
Because he was behind the wheel and...
You believe that Kenneth was responsible and that he should pay for it. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Good. So this is what we're going to do. I'm giving her a judgment for $1,400 against you. If you think Kenneth is responsible, you take out a summons and sue him. Do you understand?
Yes.
That way, she's dealing with the person who she made a contract with. Correct. You then are dealing with a person that you feel is responsible. That's your problem. Don't visit it on her. You got it?
In the matter of Velasquez versus Sieber, parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
Ms. Velasquez, Mr. Sieber was a friend of yours, and you claim that he owes you for some expenses from a trip to Spain that you took with him.
That's correct.
Or that he took with you. Mr. Sieber says there was never any agreement to pay you back any of the money you expended on his behalf, while acknowledging that you did spend money on him for plane tickets and some hotel expenses. Is that right, Mr. Sieber?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me turn to you first. I'd like you to tell me something about yourself.
Okay. I'm from Manassas, Virginia. I met Lydia in New York.
I didn't ask you where you met her. I asked you something about yourself.
Something about myself.
Yeah. First, why don't you tell me how old you are?
I'm 22 years old.
And what do you do for a living?
I sell cars.
And how long have you been selling cars?
For about 8 months now.
Is that what you want to be, a car salesman, when you grow up?
No, but it pays well.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Own my own business.
What kind of business?
Maybe a daycare.
A daycare?
Yeah.
You like children?
Love children.
Why do you think that you have what it takes to guide young children into maturity? Stand up straight. First, the first thing you have to know is that you don't have to lean on anything.
Yes.
A table, a woman, anything. So what I want you to tell me, Mr. Sieber, is since your life's ambition is to own a daycare.
Yeah.
Yes, try yes.
Yes.
That's the first thing you have to do with children, teach them how to speak. And since that is probably one of the most laudable professions to guide children, I want you to explain to me what personality traits you believe you have that would qualify you to guide the future of America. I want you to think about that, Mr. Fastmouth, before you answer my question. Because I want you to think of what it is. Because as you see from this little repartee that we're having between us, I can swallow you up alive. We understand each other?
Oh, we understand each other.
Very good. So I want you to think very carefully, Smarty Mouth, why you believe that you can, with your talents and what those talents and moral qualities that you have are, to guide the children who are the future of America.
Because I'm consistent and committed.
Committed to what?
Committed to be able to learn whatever I have to learn to be able to teach children.
Okay. Now let's talk about your moral qualifications. You sell cars?
Yes.
Did you ever exaggerate to somebody when you sold them a car?
No.
Never?
No.
So when you're negotiating with somebody, you're always right up front. When you say, listen, my manager won't let me take a penny less than for this car, and I'm going to give up most of my commission so that you can have this car, because I want you to have this car.
Of course.
That's totally honest.
Oh, yeah.
Never said anything that wasn't true.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I want you to do this for me, Mr. Sieber. When you open up your daycare center,
yes, ma'am.
Let me know where it is.
Okay.
When did you take this trip with Miss Velasquez?
We took it March 31st.
And how long did you go for?
6 days.
Who went, Mr. Sieber?
Myself and Lydia.
Just the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume, Miss Velasquez, from reading your papers, that you had a little bit of a crush on him.
I did.
Now, what makes you think, Mr. Sieber, that even though Miss Velasquez had a crush on you, she was going to pay for your tickets?
Well, when I got the call early in February, and she asked me to take the trip with her, I told her that I would take the trip, and she said that she would cover the flight expense if I would go with her. When we got over there, the first night that we were there, advances were made, and I told her I wasn't looking for anything further. And after that happened, we got back to Northern Virginia. I started getting calls. She wanted money. So, because the advances were denied, she decided she wanted payment.
Why did you go with her, Mr. Sieber?
Because I liked her as a friend.
Did you tell her that?
Yes.
Oh, tell me what you said to her.
Exactly that.
Let me hear.
I like you as a friend.
When did you tell her that?
Many times in New York when I was with her, over the phone.
When she called and asked you to go to Europe with her, did she say why she wanted you to go to Europe with her?
No.
All right, now I'll hear you, Miss Velasquez.
Thank you.
When did you call him?
I didn't call him, actually. He had called me. We initially met, and we went on a really nice romantic first date. We kept in touch. My sister got sick. He was calling to ask me about her. And through the course of the conversation, towards the end of the conversation, I had told him about a trip that I was planning for myself. I thought planning a trip for myself and going to Spain was really what I wanted to do. Then Shannon had called me. He's very charming on the phone, and he expressed his interest in coming with me.
No, just not expressing it. What did he say, if you remember?
He said, would you mind if I came with you? And I said, yeah, no, that's great. I was excited about the fact that he wanted to go with me on a trip.
Now let's get to the tickets.
Sure. He had said if you can find a ticket for around $400, that he'd go ahead and, pay me for that. So the next day, I did a vigorous search. I'm pretty good at the internet, and I found tickets. I had called him up, and I told him how much the ticket was going to be. It was around $444. And he had said, that's fine. And I said, well, I already put the hotels, so you can just pay me half for the hotels. We can split that, and then just pay me back for the flight. And he said that he would pay me back the full amount. When we got to Spain, he paid me $300 in cash. And he...
Oh, Mr. Sieber, how come you gave her $300 in cash, sir?
Oh, that was for the hotel.
You gave her $300 and said...
And he said, on April 18th, I will send you the remaining balance.
so I had thought that he was going to pay me once he got back home. We had a good time. I realized, though, when we got there, his attitude towards me changed. Before that, the phone conversations were great. He was saying, you know, oh, you're so cute, and I'm listening to your CD right now because I sing or whatnot, and you're making me smile and all this charming baloney. And I fell for it. I fell for it like I would, but when we got there, though, his attitude changed towards me. He all of a sudden was cold, distant, and it seemed like I was irritating to him.
The bloom was off the rose.
It was.
Okay, fine.
It fell down and someone squished it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I've been around long enough, Mr. Siebert, to know that what goes around comes around. And if you're not nice to people, eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the behind.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lydia Velasquez says former friend Shannon Siebert owes for a trip to Spain. Shannon claims Lydia is upset that he only wants to be friends.
All right. $444 was the plane ticket, is that right?
Correct.
And then there was some expenses for the hotel.
Correct, because we were there for 5 days and 4 nights.
And you are asking for $350, which is less than the cost of the ticket, so your $300, sir, paid portion of the plane ticket. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Look at that. You paid part of the plane ticket and you didn't even know it.
That's great.
Mr. Siebert, you look like a sweet young man. You're 22 years old, so I will attribute some of what you say to me today as being words from somebody who is not yet fully cooked. Just starting to shave and just starting to feel yourself. So I want you to understand something. You're supposed to have a reasonable moral compass. You're not supposed to toy with somebody else's affections. And I think that you're a smart aleck enough to know that by going to Spain with her, you were toying with her affections. You're not supposed to do that. It's unkind. And should you find yourself at the other end of this affection stick at some point in your life, I guarantee you won't like it. But I've been around long enough, Mr. Siebert, to know that what goes around comes around. And it may not come around today, it may not come around tomorrow. But if you're not nice to people, eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the behind. We understand each other?
Clearly.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $350. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's just sad when friends have to start suing each other.
I'm just happy that I'm going to actually get my money back.
It was never a relationship to begin with. It was all made up in our mind.
I might have been misled by him.
It was made very clear before we left it was what it was. There was going to be nothing more.
Not the person that I thought he was.
She's a nice lady.
He's just being rude.
We were only friends, and that's all it would ever be.
We're not friends anymore.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kurlanchik versus McEnany Burt. Step forward.
24-year-old teacher Jennifer Kurlanchik is suing her friends, 23-year-old student Paul McEnany and 24-year-old inventory controller Mike Burt for damages to a Hummer limo she rented on her birthday. Jennifer claims they broke the sunroof.
Ms. Kurlanchik, you rented a limousine to celebrate, I assume, your 24th birthday, and you invited a whole group of people to go with you. Two of the people you invited were these two gentlemen here, who, according to you, got a little out of hand and caused damage to the limousine. You were charged for the damage, and you want them to contribute to the cost of the damage that they did themselves. They say everybody was sort of involved in the nonsense, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How old are you?
23.
What's your first name?
Paul. 24. Mike.
First name?
Jennifer.
What do you do for a living, Jennifer?
I'm a special ed teacher.
Paul?
I'm a student, and I bartend.
Student of what?
Student in advertising.
Logistics management, and work as inventory control clerk, and as well as go to school.
Look what responsible people we have here. When was your birthday?
February 29th.
How big was the limousine?
It fit 15 people. It was a H2 Hummer limousine, so it's pretty large.
I've seen those things driving in the street. You can see them coming about a block away. And how do you know these? And how do you know these two guys?
We're friends. We're in the same fraternity, sorority. We're all friends. We're friends.
We're friends.
What kind of damage was done to the limousine?
The emergency exit window flew off on a major highway, shattered pieces, and I was charged the damages.
You mean the roof, like a sunroof?
Yes, it's actually a moonroof, and it flew off. There's 3 ledges to unlatch, and the boys unlatched it, and around 2:30 in the morning, it flew off. I didn't see it fly off. That's my witness saw.
How do you know it was these 2 boys that unlatched the moonroof?
Well, when the incident happened, Mike looked at me and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And I didn't know what actually had happened. I was like, "Okay, fine, you can take care of it." After the incident happened, Paul comes up to me and he says, "Well, I was touching a button that made the sunroof go up and down." And that's where I was like, "Oh, so Paul and Mike were doing it." They were also at the back of the vehicle where the sunroof was located, along with Tracy and one of her friends.
So that's all that you know about how this happened?
Mm-hmm.
Step up. Tell me your name.
My name's Tracy.
Tracy what?
Thompson.
Were you sitting in a location where you could observe these 2 young men?
The way the limo was set up is there was 2 doors in the back. There was a bench seat that went across there, and I was sitting right there. At the top where the moonroof was, there was a stereo, buttons to turn on the lights in the bar. At that point in time, I had seen people playing with all the lights because lights were changing, everything was moving around. Then all of a sudden, moonroof flew off the top of the car. It was gone. Both of these 2 looked at each other like, what do we do now? So,
how many people were sitting in their general vicinity?
There was one other person sitting next to me, and it was me. It was these 2 in front of us. And then the rest of the limo went down with people sitting all the way down in the front.
Now, you say other people were touching the buttons, other than Mike and Paul?
Not that I know of.
So it was just Mike and Paul touching the buttons?
They were the only 2 that could touch the buttons. There was nobody else around.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I told everybody in this limousine, you cause any damage, you can be responsible for it, because I had to sign basically.
Shh. Where are you now?
Here.
What is here?
Judge Judy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jennifer Kurlanchik says former friends Paul McEnany and Mike Burt owe for damages to a limo she rented on her birthday. The men claim they didn't do it.
Okay. Did you say to Jennifer when the moonroof flew off, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it"?
That's correct. I did say that, but that was at the end of the night.
Okay. Now, when you said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it," were you referring to the moonroof?
No, I was referring to the driver because he was getting a little irate and telling us, "Who's paying for it? Who's paying for it?" And as we stopped the car, exited, I told her, you know, we're going to take care of it. We're going to help you out as far as talking to the limo driver, saying who was at fault and this, that, and the other.
Not this, that, and the other thing. So you said to her, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it," because you were going to explain to the limo driver whose fault it was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that?
Well, no, at the point in time she asked me to leave, so I left.
So you didn't?
No.
Well, let's say that you did go to the limo driver to explain whose fault it was. What would you have told the limo driver?
I told him what...
Look at me. No, right here.
All right. Basically, I told him... I would have told him that it wasn't explained to us that this is an emergency escape hatch, because they said later on that it's an emergency escape hatch and it was labeled. No, it wasn't labeled, and the driver never explained to us.
Then you were going to be arguing with him. Let me explain this to you, Mike. Basically, you would have said to the driver, "I was touching the buttons with my friend Paul, and the moonroof fell off, but nobody explained to us that it was an emergency door. And it wasn't marked, so how are we supposed to know that it was an emergency door?" Is that what you would have said to him?
In so many words, yes.
In less words than you just told me.
Yeah, hopefully.
So you would have said, "Yeah, we did it. But we didn't know if we touched these buttons and that sort of stuff that this moonroof was going to fall off. It was not properly marked.
Right.
But we did it."
Well, the only thing I had to do with it was I closed it when we got to Dallas. We were leaving from Denton to Dallas. Somebody opened it other than me and Paul. When we got to Dallas, I closed it. That's the last thing I had to do with it. And everybody's pointing fingers at me for some reason. And I'm trying to tell her, no, it's not me. And she doesn't want to buy that. She wants to say, you know, yeah, you did
somebody
it.
Else
she just basically wants to get her money back.
From what Jennifer told me is there were 3 different latches too, and the only thing I ever touched is the one front latch that I thought would push it up, and it went flying off. So those 2 latches had to be undone. And I know other people around that area. I wouldn't, yeah.
Okay. Now, why did you push that one latch up?
Just to open. I thought it was a sunroof. It looked like a sunroof. Nobody told us it was an emergency exit.
You just wanted to get some air.
Yeah. It was 15 bodies, body heat, and everything else. So we opened up.
So, Jennifer, what?
I have warning signs on the sunroof as well as the latches. There had to be some work done to get these latches to come off. It's not a simple button. It's not
Well, maybe it wasn't their fault, my dear. Maybe it was the fault of the limousine.
Can I
Maybe.
say that?
Shh.
Sorry.
Why, you want to fight with me about that?
No.
Maybe it was the fault of the limousine.
Well, I told everybody in this limousine, you do anything, you cause any damages, you break any glass, you're going to be responsible for it, because I had to sign basically.
Shh. Where are you now?
Here.
What is here?
Judge Judy.
My space. Go ahead.
I had to sign a blank credit card slip that says we're going to charge you $600 for the flat rate.
Jennifer, my dear, you take 15 people out for an evening of partying. You sign on for a 15-passenger Hummer limousine, and you are going to expect that some damage might be done, for which you are going to be responsible. There isn't a shred of credible evidence that these two young men are responsible for that emergency exit. Not at all. The fact that they were sitting around there, the fact that they may have been touching it, the fact that he went to open up one of the latches to let some air in, that doesn't make him responsible. I don't even know if you're responsible. It's quite possible that there was a malfunction by the car. And the fact that the limousine company is charged a credit card, perhaps you should sue them.
The fact that they touched the roof and then
so what?
it flew off.
So what? So what? That doesn't make it their fault. I am not satisfied that you have sustained your burden to demonstrate that these two young men are responsible, that they either negligently, recklessly caused the damage to the limousine. It is just as plausible that someone else had touched one or more of those things at some point during the evening, and when he opened up one latch to let in some air, the thing fell off. That's also plausible. That doesn't make him responsible. And if the limousine company refuses to give you back your money, sue them, because I don't think you have a case against these two young men. That's all. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mrs. Brown, the defendant is your son. Right. Is that right? Are those prescription glasses, sir?
Yes, ma'am, very much so.
Well, would you take them off, please? Because if you have to read anything, I'll let you put them back on. Very good.
They're not for reading, they're for seeing you, Your Honor.
Well, put them back on again for a second, sir. Take a good look. Now take them off. Mrs. Brown, your lawsuit seeks return of money for several things. The first thing is bail money that you claim that you loaned to your son at some point. The second thing is for mortgage payments on a house that you are currently living in. And from what I gather from your complaint, there was some sort of an arrangement that your son would make the mortgage payments on this house, and ultimately the house would belong to him. You would live in the house, take care of your grandson, your son, correct? And then there was some sort of an altercation with your son, you put him out of the house, and you believe that he should continue to make the mortgage payments on the house as per your agreement.
No.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
I am only asking for a mortgage, well, it's not just mortgage, it's household expenses for the month of August, which he lived in my house. That was August of 2001 was the last month that he lived in my house, and he did not pay anything.
Okay, so it's just for 1 month?
It's just for 1 month, and it's $1,500 for the household expenses because that was our agreement.
How much was the mortgage payment?
$758.
Okay. How much was the bail?
The bail was $1,000.
And you have proof of that?
Yes. I have a bank statement here where I took the money out of the bank.
No, I need the bail statement, not where you took the money out.
I could not find it. I looked and looked, and I could not find the bail statement. I don't know if he has it or what.
All right. And the second thing that you want is for verbal abuse, which you don't get paid for, because you're suing him for $4,000. Way over. Okay, and the mortgage payment is $758. Okay, let's get to the bail first. Tell me the circumstances surrounding this bail.
The bail was, he was driving a car that was illegally licensed, and he got pulled over, and they took him to jail. And I can't remember if he had some other...
When was this?
This was in June of 2001.
Does that sound familiar, sir?
It sounds familiar. In January, yes.
January of
Yeah.
2001?
No, it wasn't January. It was in the spring. The weather was beautiful.
Okay. Were you taken to jail, sir?
Yep.
Did you have bail?
Yep.
Where'd you get it from?
I have retrieved bail from Michael, a friend of mine. My mom has put up collateral for her house more than once, but just collateral.
No, I paid $1,000 and the collateral for that particular bail. The one he's talking about was for another charge that he was charged with, and his friend Michael did pay that bail for him because I had no more money to pay any more bail.
Why do you think your mother would lie about posting bail for you?
That's going to be the whole case. She's used her collateral more than once. I've asked her
More than once for your bail?
Yep.
Well,
Yes,
how many
ma'am.
times have you been arrested, sir?
A few.
How many is a few?
A number?
Do you not? Are you telling me you don't remember?
Well, Your Honor, I've absolutely been in trouble. I haven't recently, but yes, I've been in a deal of trouble and asked her for collateral at least 4 times.
Okay, well, this time she says in June of 2001, she also had to post the bail. So if you can't remember how many times you've been arrested, maybe you don't remember who posted the bail all the
I
times.
remember
that you were
exactly who
arrested.
posted the bail, Your Honor.
Well, who posted the bail in June?
Michael.
She said that that was in January.
No,
There was no arrest in June. I was only arrested in January. I went to the court
I
dates.
could
I
be
know
wrong
what the
with
date
the
is.
month. It was in the spring. Those two cases were very close together.
Okay. Tell me, Mrs. Brown, did you get a call from your son from jail?
Yes.
Well, tell me about the phone call. Maybe that will
He
jog
just
his
called
memory.
and said that he had been arrested and he needed to get bailed out, and could I get the money? And I said yes. The money that I used was money that was supposed to stay in the bank. That's why I am asking for the money back, because the money was for something else.
What was it for?
It was for, we were going to do some work on the house.
Let me look at your statement. You say that you took out $1,000 so that you would have exactly when you took out the $1,000.
Well, this is showing up on my June, so that's why I said June.
Well, it would tell you the date in June.
6/4, $1,000.
Now, tell me exactly where you took this $1,000. Look at me.
I bailed him from a bondsman in Tacoma. I could not find that bondsman. I looked in the phone book and I made calls and I could not remember the name of that bondsman. I bailed him out. He went to court. And then, of course, you don't get that $1,000 back because that was the 10%.
Let's get to the house payment in August. Did you, in fact, live in the house in August, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Beginning of August until when?
Till, actually, I think it was after, like the 1st or 2nd of September, I think.
And your arrangement with your mother was that you would take care of the household expenses.
The agreement of me buying the home was me buying the home, yes, and everything involved with it.
Did you pay for August?
The money for paying for the August rent was supposed to be paid on that Friday. Something had come up, I didn't get to it. That Friday night is the night that she came home and did her rampage and called the cops and kicked us out. That night, Friday night, assuming that I'd already paid, which I had not gotten a chance to pay yet.
But it's due the beginning of August, not the end.
It gets paid, Your Honor. It gets paid every single month.
So your mother is correct that you did not make the $1,500 payment that you were supposed to make?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Is there any defense to that $1,500, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, she threw me and my son out in the street in the middle of the night.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You must have had some lollapalooza of a fight with your mother.
There was no fight.
You mean your mother went through a psychotic episode?
She does not like my son's mother.
That's not what happened at all.
And later today,
I don't remember. It was such a long time ago.
It's not so long ago in the scheme of things.
You know, I have the emails when I had gotten the order of protection, and...
Let's get to the money!
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sandy Brown says her son Henry Brown owes for 1 month of household expenses. Henry says his mom threw him out on the street in the middle of the night.
Go ahead.
I came to give her the money for that mortgage the next week after she had told me I couldn't come around, told me I couldn't have my stuff, told me my son couldn't have his stuff, and I'd come to have a couple cars towed at her request, at which time the police were called by her.
Well, you must have had some lollapalooza of a fight with your mother.
There was no fight. I was at home with my son, with my son's mother, with her daughter, and with my 13-year-old nanny when she came home at 10 o'clock at night and kicked and booted me out.
You mean your mother went through a psychotic episode?
She does not like my son's mother. That's been her issue for about a month before this happened. That was her only issue. We had a fight about her before she left, I think it was on a Wednesday, and she came home Friday evening, and her first words were, she has to leave, she has to go, she has to leave. And I told her, no, it's 10 o'clock at night, and she got on the phone, called the cops, and told the cops I had been abusive and everything else. I'm standing there with cooking utensils, cooking food,
Why did you put your son out, Mrs. Brown?
That's not what happened at all.
Well, what
we
happened?
had been having an argument that whole week.
About what?
I did want him to move out because I didn't appreciate him yelling at me, getting in my face yelling at me. I did not appreciate him saying derogatory remarks about me. This is my home. I've lived here for 28 years, and I didn't feel like I had to put up with it. They had taken it upon themselves to move my furniture around. I did not yell at him. I said, Hank, I said, I don't want callers spending the night here. That's what I told him. And he just started yelling at me. And I said, okay, you need to move out. And he says, I'm not moving. I said, either you move, I'm going to go, or I'm going to call the police. He said, go ahead. So I said, fine. So I did. He had a warrant. He left so he wouldn't get arrested. 2 weeks later.
What did he have a warrant for?
I believe it's non-payment of child support. He has an older daughter. Then on that Monday, which was like the 3rd of September, I went straight to court and filed for a protection order.
Okay.
He came to pick up his cars. I called the police, gave the police a protection order. They served him, and he went to jail on that same arrest warrant 2 weeks later.
Not on anything that had to do with you?
No. Didn't have anything to do with me.
Okay. Did he ultimately get his personal property and his son's personal property from the house?
Well, yes, he did. And by the way, when we went to finalize the protection order, I told him then, I need your stuff out of my house in 2 weeks because I need to have a roommate move in with me because I can't afford this house by myself. He never came. Ultimately, I put his son's bedroom set on the deck. I told my son, tell him to come and get Hanky's bedroom set before it is ruined, because by then it was like the end of October. He never came.
Where was he living?
Around.
With his son?
With his son. He's still living around with his son.
Okay. Well, I don't have a counterclaim for that. And in any event, I find that you did, in fact, post his bail, $1,000, and he owes you $1,500, almost acknowledged for August of 2001. So I'm entering a judgment for $2,500. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
This woman, out of spite, has put me and my son out of our home that we had a good faith agreement on.
The agreement was if I died, he could inherit the house.
Don't trust nobody.
I guess he thought I was going to die in 2 or 3 years. I don't know.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Poulter versus Miller. Step forward, please.
53-year-old truck driver Craig Poulter is suing his ex-girlfriend, 28-year-old purchasing agent Heidi Miller, for an unpaid loan to buy a car. Heidi says Craig bought the car as a gift.
Mr. Poulter, you claim a loan to the defendant in the amount of $3,000 some odd so that you could purchase a car.
Yes.
The defendant says it was never a loan, never intended to be a loan. What was your relationship to the defendant?
Well, Heidi and I had met in about June of 2000, and shortly thereafter started dating and ended up in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And during the course of that relationship, which lasted about a year and a half, Heidi had mentioned that the vehicle she was driving at the time was being too costly for her to afford. We discussed the situation and came up with an idea that at the right time, when the right car came along, to purchase a different vehicle, and then she would be able to get rid of the one that she really couldn't afford owning.
Was it a leased car that you had?
Yes.
It's a lease?
Yes.
And how much was the lease?
$369 a month.
So does that sound right so far?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was the 25th of June, 2001. And we spotted a nice-looking used car for sale by private owner. We decided to stop and take a look at this vehicle, knowing that she would sooner than later be getting rid of the Blazer. When we came back from the test ride, I told her that if we can make the right deal with the gentleman for the right amount of money, I think it would be a good car for her to have.
Okay.
And at that time, I said, as far as paying me back for the car, we can work that out later. Let's first take care of what's important, is to get you a car.
Are you telling me that you had a discussion with her at that point about paying you back the money?
There was some short discussion about it. It wasn't a real long conversation.
I mean, it might sound right. It sounds right to me that you might say, listen, if we can make a good deal on this car, let's do it. But it doesn't sit right with me that you would say at that moment, and then we'll talk about paying me back, you know, later. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
But there was some mention of that getting a payment plan set up down the road or something, but I don't remember exactly
at that
what it
moment. I'm talking about at that moment.
Yes.
All right. I'm not sure if I believe that. Go ahead. So what happened? So you went and you made a deal with the man?
Yes.
You did alone?
Yes.
Okay.
And I wrote a personal check for the car, And I have a copy and
I'd like to see it.
of that signed cash check.
Okay.
Um,
And then she took possession of the car. You registered it in your name?
Yes.
And when did you turn back the leased car?
It was shortly after that because I had to, I took a loss on this Blazer that I had, and so what I had to do is I had to finance $5,000 for the loss on a Blazer that I no longer have, and actually I'm still paying for it. So once I sold that, which was actually probably about a month or two after he had bought the car for me.
Okay.
So
Now, when did you and the defendant end your relationship?
it was towards the end of 2001.
Between June, when you purchased the car, and December, did she make any payments to you?
No.
Did you have any discussions about it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, I have two separate emails from 2 separate days where I had mentioned to her by email about wanting repayment, and
I'd like
her
to see-
replies are on my emails. Your Honor, my comments are highlighted in blue and hers are in yellow.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Craig Poulter says ex-girlfriend Heidi Miller owes for a loan to buy a car. Heidi says Craig has been harassing her.
Would you show this to the defendant, please?
Okay.
Ms. Miller, those emails, especially yours, don't seem consistent with your defense, which is that this car was a gift.
the reason, if I said those things, I don't remember, it was such a long time ago.
It's not so long ago in the scheme of things.
But I said this basically said those emails to appease this man. He's very controlling of me. I had to get a restraining order against him after all this whole thing. It was just to get him to back off.
Just a second. These were in September. You didn't break up with him until later on in the year.
Actually, we broke up in September. It was such an on and off relationship.
Well, then it was back on again.
No, it was not.
Well, you want to go on and continue then and tell me about these emails that you sent, which seem to indicate that he was telling you, don't worry about getting a part-time job to start to pay me back. Because you said, I'll get a part-time job and pay you back. He said the most important thing is that you get a good full-time job,
Which I
and then you
have.
can start paying me back. And you say, I'm really stubborn, I know I want to pay you back, and I'm going to pay you back. Now, you say that on 2 separate occasions.
Just to appease him, because he was harassing me with phone calls and with different emails that I don't keep every single email that is sent to me. I'm sorry that I don't. But if I could, you know, I had the emails when I had gotten the order of protection, and
let's get to the money.
I don't owe him for it. It was a gift. At the time of when we purchased the car, we never talked about anything about that I was going to repay him or anything.
Your
He
Honor.
went and took for a test drive. I had nothing to do with the car.
Okay.
He came back to me and said, this is a good car for you.
Okay.
Your Honor, I also have an audio tape recording that I made of a conversation between Ms. Miller and I. We have queued up one of the most important parts of the tape.
I'll hear it.
Thank you.
Well, you do know you owe the money. Yeah? What are we going to do, Heidi? I don't know. I can't believe in all this time you haven't been able to send any money at all. Exactly. Me either. Things are tight. Okay, plain and simple, Heidi. What is the next step? I don't know.
I asked her point blank on the conversation, and it's in this tape. I said, Heidi, are you trying to say that you don't owe me the money for the car? And she very frankly answers, no, I know I owe you.
No, it's clear to me, sir,
Okay.
that she owes you for the car.
It was just miscued.
It's clear to me that she owes you for the
Thank
car. She
you.
acknowledges on the tape she owes you for the
And
car.
I
She
also
acknowledges
have-
in the email she owes you for the car.
Right, and I have my
Only
daughter
today
as a witness.
says she doesn't owe you for the car.
That's
Only today. Now, if you had $369 of car payments for a Blazer that you couldn't afford, and if you gave him $100 a month, which would cut your expenses substantially, then you could pay the car off in 30 months and you wouldn't have a problem. Or if you gave him $50 a month, but you gave him nothing.
Well, I had to play for that Blazer loan, that $5,000 loss.
Whose fault is that? Is that his fault?
Yes, because he told me that was the best thing for me to do was to get rid of that Blazer.
Hey, listen.
That's what he told me to do.
You look like a very strong, strapping girl, and there is absolutely no reason why you let somebody else make decisions for you. Sounds to me as if you made your own decision to lease a Blazer. You could have leased a car that you could buy or lease for $150 a
Yeah, this is case number 456 on the calendar in the matter of Wells versus Howells. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Wells, according to what I've read, sir, you and the defendant had a glorious 11-year relationship. Sometimes on, sometimes off. Now it's off. It's over. But about 2 years ago, when it was over, it is your claim that Miss Howells, while you were incarcerated on some kind of domestic dispute, she stole all of your personal property. So that's the first part of your lawsuit, that you want your personal property from 2 years ago.
Yes.
Then, more recently, in 2002, you got back together again. And you claim that you proposed marriage, and you gave her a ring. And then a month or so later, the relationship ended for good, so you want the ring back.
Yes.
Miss Howells says that she deserves the ring. She doesn't even address the stuff, but she says she deserves the ring after 11 years of being with you. And she's counterclaiming because she says in November, which is the date of the final breakup, that you assaulted her, and she wants to be compensated for her pain and suffering, whatever medical bill she has. So I'm not going to get into what you say Miss Howells took 2 years ago, and I'm going to tell you why, sir. Have you been incarcerated for the last 2 years?
No.
Then would you like to tell me why you did not pursue this matter for 2 years?
Well, Your Honor.
I know who I am, so just tell me why.
The reason why is because we have been together and on and off so many times that I've lost count, and these things that I want are things that I bought with my own money. I've paid Ms. Howells numerous amounts of cash and dining and trips to Mexico, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and I've been slapped in the face, and I'd like to have my things back.
Well, you should have been more vigilant, Mr. Wells. Courts are set up to deal with divorces. They're not set up to deal with almost marrieds, almost togethers, 11-year relationships that don't pan out. You had 2 years in which to act, you didn't. But I'm going to get to the ring for a second. Where's the ring, Miss Howells?
The ring, I returned to Costco in Medford, Oregon, and gave them a picture of the attack of my right arm, and they returned the money to me.
How much money did they return?
$1,099.
That's what you owe him, $1,099. Is that what you paid for the ring, Mr. Wells?
Yes.
An engagement ring is given in anticipation of getting married. You didn't get married, you don't keep the ring or the value thereof because you returned the ring. You don't keep the cash because you feel as if you deserve it. You don't. If you're foolish enough to live with somebody who abuses you and who makes your life miserable, that's your problem. You don't get to keep the ring. So you get $1,099, sir, on your complaint.
Okay.
Now we're going to get to your counterclaim. I want you to tell me what happened in November when you claimed that Mr. Wells assaulted you.
Okay, Mr. Wells and I, being he was having some behavior problems, I was going to drive us to a Christian marriage counseling. It was a 2-day seminar. We tried to find the place where it was going to take place and could not find it. So we decided to just go to dinner and, and forget about it. So we went to dinner, had a couple drinks, and then on the way home, we stopped at this nightclub. It's a steakhouse nightclub. He started verbally accusing me things of looking at some guy in the bar and things like that, starting a fight. And I was having a good time. And anyway, so we get to my home, and it escalated. So we get out of the car, go in the house, and he all of a sudden just turned into a totally different person and told me that, called me some names, and then he told me he was going to kick that TV in, the big screen TV, and he was going to slap me in my face, and he was going to walk out the door and get a taxi and go home. Well, he didn't have any money. So he grabbed my phone and proceeded out the door with it. I said, "Give me my phone back." Anyway, he slammed it down on the cement. I said, "Scott, calm down." He came back inside my home, and he just was out of control. I said, "I will give you the money to take a taxi, if that's your big, thing." I go, "Why can't you just get along with me and we can just, work this out? Why do you have to be like this?" And anyway, he grabbed my purse at one time, ran to the door, and then I ran after him and got my purse away because I had some money in it. We kind of backed up. I kind of backed to my kitchen counter, and something in my heart told me I just better make it to the door and scream because of the way he was carrying on and going out of his mind. And anyway, so I ran to the door, got the door open. I opened the door with my right hand, And he immediately, and I got to scream out for help, and he immediately grabbed my right arm. It's really hard, and he covered up my mouth, dragged me to my office. It's a second bedroom I use for my office. He dragged me in there and told me the police are going to come, oh, you know, and how much he loved me, and oh, he just carried on, you know, please, you know, tell him I left, you know. Because actually, when he grabbed me on my arm and grabbed me around my face, I thought he was going to kill me.
Okay, so he grabbed you by the arm, put his hands across your mouth and said, please don't scream because the police are going to come.
Yes.
Tell them I'm not here.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so then the police came, and anyway, he hid in my closet, and they pulled him out of the closet, but he had put something in one of my shoes.
What did he put in one of your shoes?
I have the police report, Your Honor.
What did he put in your shoe?
Meth, drugs.
Drugs. So who was arrested?
He was arrested.
What about
I didn't
you?
press charges.
What about you?
No, I went in and did a urinalysis in my bathroom. They gave me the cup, and I'm clean. You know,
What about him?
No, they took him to jail.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm not a drug user.
So this was an isolated instance?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, right.
And later today,
Your Honor, she knew I was going in the hallway.
That doesn't mean anything if she knew you were going in the hallway, Miss Davis.
Yes, Your Honor. This is how it was.
No, it wasn't. Stop making it up as you're going along.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Charles Scott Wells says ex-fiancée Linda Howells owes for the return of property and an engagement ring. Linda says he bought the ring at Costco and she returned it.
All right, Mr. Wells, let's hear your version of the events of the 3rd of November, 2002.
Well, I call this the abuse of the legal system, and here's why. Ms. Howells had made a statement to her neighbor, if I'm murdered, then it's my boyfriend who did it. Well, that was early in the afternoon. Ms. Howells picks me up that evening, takes me out to dinner, takes me back to her house, goes outside, screams help, I get arrested. That's the short version of it. I mean, that's just one incident. And I've got proof right here.
I'd like to see it.
Also, Ms. Howells is sue crazy. She's got 7 lawsuits going. Here's one that's just recent, a whiplash case. That,
Shh, I'm not interested in a whiplash case. Let me see proof, sir.
This, from here on the second page, kind of states what happened.
Why were you hiding in the closet?
The reason I was hiding in the closet is because of an incident that happened 2 years ago that was similar to this, where she had called the police, had me arrested, said that I had threatened her. I went to jail, and that's when I lost my belongings out of my house.
So is that why you were hiding? What about the drugs?
The drugs, I don't do drugs now as isolated incidents.
Just a second. What were the drugs doing in her shoe?
I had put them there.
Why?
Because when Miss Howells opened the door for the police, she said, he's hiding in the closet.
Well, what were you doing walking around with the drugs?
I was on my way.
Methamphetamine. What were you doing walking around with?
It was a foolish mistake, Your Honor. I mean, it was something I am very embarrassed about.
What did you plan to do with it, sir?
Pardon?
I mean, were you going to frame it?
I was going to snort it.
Had you snorted any of it before?
In the past?
Yes.
No, I'm not a drug user. It's
so this was an isolated instance?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, right. Were you given a urine test when you got to the precinct?
Yes.
Is it negative or positive?
I'm not sure what the results were.
Really? All right. Let me see your injuries, please.
Okay. And here's a copy of the police report, what happened. And then there's that on my arm. And then the incident of it was actually a year prior, November 23rd, 2001.
I'm not interested in what happened the year before. I'm not interested in his property that happened the year before. I'm not interested.
Okay.
Oh, this is a bad bruise.
Very bad. And I had a 5-hour shoulder surgery in 1997 on my shoulder.
Oh, please. I'm not interested in the year of the flood, madam.
And, Your Honor,
well,
there was no...
No, Your Honor, it caused me paralysis, his grabbing me.
Okay, right now you look just fine, but he gave you a nasty bruise.
There was no report of that when the incident happened with the police. This is all
fabricated. Because I didn't press charges. I tried to protect you.
You admitted to the police, sir, that you last snorted the meth earlier that evening.
Yes, I did. Your Honor, I went down the wrong path there. And
fine. Well, then what you did, sir, you went down the wrong path, and what happened is...
But the drugs have not...
No, listen to me. You went down the wrong path, sir, and what happened when you go down the wrong path, and you snort drugs earlier in the evening, your behavior changes. Even your memory of events change. Because what you told me happened was that she set you up that night.
She did.
That she came to take you to dinner, and she drove you home to her house, and then she ran outside and screamed for the police so that she could have you arrested. If that's really what you think, I feel sorry for you. If that's what you want me to believe, I feel sorry for me. Because it's not what happened, sir.
Well, Your Honor,
What happened is you got into an argument with her, you were behaving irrationally, you were a little bit sweaty. I don't know what your circumstance is as we stand here today, and I'm certainly not going to ask you, but I will tell you that night you were acting a little bit irrationally. She went outside and screamed for somebody to call the police, and you got busted, and you got busted for either a disturbance at her home and or the drug possession. You probably pled guilty to the drug possession. Is that a fair statement?
Well, Miss Howells was arrested for marijuana that evening.
Did you?
She was partying with me.
Did you plead guilty to the drug possession?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So that's over.
Yeah.
So that part is.
I haven't tried.
That part is over with. As part of what happened in the course of that evening, sir, you bruised her very badly because you didn't want to get. Oh yeah, you did.
That picture could be from anything. If she was injured, wouldn't she have told the police that night when I was arrested?
A black and blue mark like that doesn't come out 2 seconds later. It comes out. That's what happened. You grabbed her inside. You mean you didn't punch her? She didn't say, he punched me, he kicked me in the back, he threatened to stab me. He said you grabbed her by the arm, which you did, in order to take her inside to shut her up. You were acting irrationally. I don't think that she was seriously injured that night. I don't believe that. But I believe she was injured sufficiently enough to cost you $1,099, which is the cost of the engagement ring. So your claim is dismissed, as is your counterclaim. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I feel like this is a defeat for men that have women abusing the legal system to get material things from men.
He makes up stories and he actually believes them.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Davis versus Wallace. Step forward, please.
26-year-old homemaker Shoshana Davis and her son, 7-year-old Raleek Wilkes, are suing her aunt, airport security screener Yvette Wallace, for causing her son's finger to be severed.
Miss Davis, Miss Wallace is your aunt, is that right?
Yes.
And this is your son?
Yes.
He's 7?
Yes.
And what's your first name?
Raleek.
Raleek?
Yes.
Miss Wallace, this is your daughter?
Yes.
You like him? Yes. Is that right? You play together occasionally? According to your complaint, Miss Davis, you were at your aunt's house, socializing?
Yes.
Sitting in the kitchen, having a cup of coffee?
Yes.
And the kids were playing?
Yes.
And at some point, this young lady went into the bathroom.
Yes.
According to you, she slammed Raleek's finger in the door, causing the tip of his finger to come off.
Yes.
And then you took him to the hospital, and they had to find the tip of the finger, and you say Miss Wallace didn't get the tip of the finger there fast enough. To make a long story short, Raleek is missing a little piece of his finger. And you want your aunt to pay for all of his medical bills and for pain and suffering. You want her to pay you $5,000, right?
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
You're sitting with your aunt in the kitchen, having a cup of coffee. What happens? Was he in the kitchen with you and followed her into the bathroom?
No, he wasn't. They was playing in Christina's bedroom.
Right.
Christina runs into the bathroom after hitting Raleek. And
She hit him?
Yes.
Where did she hit him?
On my leg.
You mean she hit you because she was angry with you?
No.
Was she playing around? Huh?
Yes.
Sure she was. And then she went into the bathroom. What did you do, Raleek?
I ran after her.
Right. And she slammed the door?
Yes.
And you got your finger caught in the door?
Yes.
So? That's what happened?
Yes. And I'm suing because it's his left hand. He cannot participate in certain activities in school because it's his left hand.
Should have watched him more carefully, Miss Davis. You're his mother. Why didn't you watch him?
I was not in the apartment.
I thought you said you were in the apartment.
Miss Wallace, he was in Miss Wallace's care as I was in the hallway. Now,
just a second. What do you mean he was? Shh, just a second.
Your Honor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you just told me you were socializing with your aunt.
We was engaging in conversation.
Who was?
Me and the other tenants that live inside the projects. There was an incident in the building, and I was standing in the hallway. I was not in the apartment at the present time.
Just a second. You didn't leave him in her care. Just because she stayed in the apartment and minded her own business, you went outside to mind somebody else's business. If you were so concerned about your son's welfare, you should have stayed in the apartment.
You're right, Your
Why do you
Honor.
blame somebody
But
else?
no, I'm not blaming her at that matter. I'm blaming her because we do conjugate like that.
Fine. Well, then why are you blaming her and suing her for this incident that occurred that had no fault on her part?
Okay.
None at all. Her daughter was playing with your son. He ran after her in the bathroom.
Yes.
She slammed the door.
Yes.
And he got his finger caught in the door because
Yes.
he put his finger in the door. Why should she pay you $5,000?
Why? Because while we was there, no one ever, Christina never apologized. Plus, because of his, this is permanent defective.
But
He
that
has to
doesn't
have
mean that
surgery.
just because he's got a permanent injury doesn't mean that your aunt is liable for that injury.
Why not? If it was done in her house in...
You brought your child there.
Yes.
You are responsible to supervise your child, not her. You.
Yes.
If you had brought your child there and said to her, will you supervise and take care of Ralik while I go to the store?
But Your Honor...
I'm speaking.
Okay.
And she said, I will take care of him. Then you might have a case against her for inadequate supervision.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you're there. You're his mother. He's hurt.
Yes.
He's hurt while in your care. Just because you walked outside to be a yenta in the hallway
No, Your
doesn't
Honor.
mean because you left her in the apartment that she's responsible. No, Miss Davis. You're still responsible.
Your Honor, she knew I was going in the hallway.
That doesn't mean anything if she knew you were going in the hallway, Miss Davis. Doesn't mean anything. She has to assume the responsibility and say to you, I will take care of your son while you go out.
Yes, Your Honor. This is how it was.
No, it wasn't. Stop making it up as you're going along.
Never.
Never.
We'll
Your
do that.
case is dismissed, Miss Davis. I want you to get a life. Be responsible. It's your son. You take care of him. Not somebody else. It's not her fault.
But, Your Honor, you didn't even look at his finger.
It doesn't make any difference what happened to his finger, madam. He's your child. You are responsible for supervising him and taking care of him. And don't make it somebody else's fault. It was your fault that you didn't watch him more carefully. If you did, he wouldn't have had his finger chopped off. It's not her fault. She went into the bathroom. They were playing. She slammed the door.
This is Riley. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats. Young man.
Mr. Ehrman.
Yes, ma'am.
I've read your complaint very carefully, sir, and what I gather happened was that you came across Miss Riley's cat
That's correct.
that was somehow out on the street. You thought the cat was your cat. You have a cat that looks
Yes.
similar. You picked it up. You realized it was not your cat. You were holding on to the cat while your wife went to find out who the owner was. And the cat scratched and or bit you,
Correct.
which eventually caused a serious infection in your arm, substantial medical bills.
Yes.
And you believe that Miss Riley should be responsible for all of your medical bills, your pain and suffering, and your lost income during
Yes.
this period of time. Miss Riley says you should not have picked up her cat. That's pretty much your defense. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When did this happen, Mr. Ehrman?
Around April 9th of 2003, about 10 or 10:30 in the evening.
Where were you, sir?
I was in front of my apartment.
Where is your apartment?
I'm up on the hill, and Miss Riley's apartment's like down on the hill.
In what city?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mission Viejo, California.
So you're on top of the hill, she's at the bottom of the hill.
Yes.
Where was the cat?
The cat was probably about 100 to 120 feet away from my apartment.
What did the cat look like? You have a picture?
The cat looked almost identical to the picture that I have of my cat,
Can I see?
and that's one of the reasons why I approached that cat, thinking that it was my cat.
Who were you with, sir?
I was with my wife.
So you picked up the cat.
Yes.
And it was 10:30 night, so it was dark. But once you picked up the cat, did you realize that the cat was not yours?
After I picked it up and had it in my arms, I noticed that the tag was slightly different than mine.
So the cat had a tag.
Yes.
What did the tag say?
It was a round tag, and it had Erin Riley's name on it, along with her phone number.
And what happened next, sir?
Once I discovered it was not my cat, I advised the wife to go ahead and contact Miss Riley because it was late at night, and our community that we live in is infested with coyotes. And I was concerned for the safety of this cat because of all
So
the coyotes.
did your wife contact her?
Yes, my wife went upstairs and contacted her.
Step up.
So far, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What happened when you called Miss Riley, Mrs. Ehrman?
I informed Miss Riley that we spotted her cat, which looks similar to our cat. You know, do you want to come and obtain your cat? She said, okay, I'm on my way up. I informed my husband she's on her way up, but our complex...
So you came outside after you spoke to her?
Correct.
And you went over to your husband. Your husband was still holding the cat?
Yes, he was.
And you said she's on her way?
I informed him he's on her way, and I was walking down the hill to escort her up.
When you called and said, we have your cat, did she say anything else to you?
Not much of anything, like, okay, where are you and where's my cat?
Okay. And now when you went down, you found her and you brought her back up?
Correct.
What happened when you brought her back up?
We approached my husband, who now at this point had the cat on the ground. He showed to her what the cat had did as far as scratches goes and a bite on his finger and thumb. She informed us, oh my God, I cannot believe my cat did this. You know, my cat normally does not do stuff like this. So we explained to her, well, we'll clean it up. We wrapped the cat up in a towel and went to the car and drove her cat back down to her apartment.
So far, is that what happened?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So there's no question that her cat bit and scratched you.
Correct.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
After the bite occurred, I immediately poured out iodine, peroxide, alcohol, and all sorts of salves and wrapped up the wound. I kept monitoring it for the next 2 weeks, and it appeared to be healing on the outside. About 2 weeks later, my hand started getting swollen, and at that moment in time, I totally forgot about the cat bite. I was just trying to figure, okay, what's going on with my hand? And it got really, really sore. And the wife, pretty much ordered me to go to the emergency room, and which I did. And at that moment in time, they thought it was torn ligaments. They sent me over to a hand specialist. He saw signs of something else. He started poking around, and there was no pain in certain areas. And he started jogging my memory and saying what happened. And it just stumbled me again, like the cat bite. As soon as I said a cat bite happened, immediately he ordered me for an emergency MRI. He came in and saw the results and said, you're not going home. You're going to the emergency room now. And I go, what do you mean? And he explained to me that the infection went from the thumb, came down the palm, wrapped around my wrist, and was shooting up my arm. He said if I did not get immediate medical attention, I would have been dead in less than 2 weeks. So, of course, I contacted my wife, who escorted me to the hospital, and I was admitted for my first of 4 surgeries.
First of 4 surgeries?
First of 4, yes. And I have pictures of the actual stitches. They are double-sided.
Everything okay now?
I am going through physical therapy as right now, and the progress is improving slowly, but it is getting better, yes.
Now, Mr. Ehrman, did you contact an attorney at any time?
Yes, I did, ma'am. And unfortunately, all the attorneys I contacted, when I stated that I lived in an apartment residence as well with Ms. Riley, they felt that unfortunately there was no assets to go after so that I can receive full compensation for what is due to me.
What do you do for a living, Ms. Riley?
I'm a programs coordinator for a nonprofit organization.
You have homeowners insurance?
No, I live in an apartment.
And Your Honor, when we move into the apartment community, they give us this big, thick packet. And one of the papers in here is regarding pets.
I see.
And on this, I highlighted
you
it
live
for
in the
you.
same community?
Mm-hmm. We live in
And on it, it does state that the residents agree to be responsible for any and all damages caused by that pet while on that property.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What is the purpose of an identification tag, Miss Riley?
To call me and have me come pick the cat up.
If what?
If the cat gets out.
Well, that's what he did.
And later today,
you evidently told the state that Miss Eccles was your child care provider. Now, if you think that the state is going to make you a gift, you are absolutely mistaken.
Well, how come they...
We are not going to make you a gift for committing fraud.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. David Ehrman says neighbor Erin Riley owes for medical bills due to a cat bite. Erin says David should have never picked up her cat.
Miss Riley, I've read your answer. I would like you to explain to me why you believe that you are in no way responsible for Mr. Ehrman's injury.
I don't think that he should have picked up the cat in the first place. I realize that my cat does look a lot like his cat, but my cat was hissing and very upset. I feel like he should have put it down. I feel like it wasn't his responsibility to save it from coyotes.
Okay. Does your cat have claws?
Yes.
So is your cat an indoor cat or an outdoor cat?
Indoor cat.
What was your cat doing out on the 9th of April?
It escaped at around 9:30. I actually went to go look for it for about an hour.
Escaped how?
It got out my patio door when I was cleaning.
Has that ever happened to you before?
No.
You mean your cat has never gotten out before?
No.
Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Is your cat registered with the county
No.
where you live?
No. It has its shots, and I have a shot record.
But the tag that the cat wears is not a registration tag, is that correct?
No, it's an identification.
What is the purpose of an identification tag, Miss Riley?
To call me and have me come pick the cat up.
If what?
If the cat gets out.
Right. You put the tag on the cat to encourage people, if they find your animal, to pick up the phone and call you in order to return your cat, correct?
Correct.
Well, that's what he did. He did no more than accept your invitation. If he picked up the cat and saw it wasn't his and just put it down, he wouldn't have gotten hurt. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
He was holding your cat, doing exactly what you wanted him to do, which was to call him. It was your invitation. Didn't you
No.
ever think of that?
I wasn't expecting my cat to get out.
Well, if you weren't expecting your cat to get out, then why did you put the collar on your cat with the tag and your telephone number on it?
Because my daughter put that tag on my cat. I don't know. I mean, in the case that it did
how old
get
is your
out.
daughter?
She's 9.
Madam, your daughter did not put the tag on the cat. Whose name is on the tag? Yours or your daughter's?
It's the cat's name.
What's the cat's name?
Cherry.
Does it have a last name?
No.
What name was on the tag?
Aaron. I said Aaron Riley and her phone number.
Oh, well, we replaced the tag. I'm sorry, I forgot. This was a while ago.
Whose name is Aaron Riley?
My name.
So your daughter did not put your name and telephone number on. You put your name and telephone number on the tag and attached it to the cat. Right?
Yes.
Your Honor, let me
What?
make a statement. As far as her statement that she made earlier saying that the cat only got out once, unfortunately that is false.
Of course it's
brought
false.
witnesses with me as well that have seen the cat on the premises multiple times, especially near my apartment as well.
Is that you?
Both of them.
Tell me your name.
Shannon Ehrman. And yes, on multiple occasions, I have seen the cat right directly in front of our complex.
How do you know it was her cat and not his?
Because I seen the cat the
She
night
lives with
that it
us.
happened, prior to the incident that happened with him, that I saw the cat.
How many times prior to the evening of April 9th had you seen that cat?
Never.
So you never saw it before?
Never before.
After that night?
At least 2 more times after that.
After he was injured?
Correct.
Miss Riley, I want you to take a look at these and tell me if this is the agreement that you signed ultimately when you
Yeah.
moved into your apartment.
Of course. Yes.
Well, then you agreed to be responsible, right? You saw his injuries, I assume.
No, I haven't.
Well, just show her the scars as a result of the injury. These are the photographs that were taken while they were stitched. You still have the cat, Miss Riley?
Yes, I do.
Miss Riley, your cat is responsible for the injury that Mr. Ehrman suffered. There isn't a question in my mind about that.
Okay.
I don't think that there's a question in your mind about it
No.
either. I think that the only issue is, do you bear responsibility? I think that by A, allowing your cat to escape, and having signed the agreement with your landlord that you would be responsible for any and all damage, you are in fact responsible. But more so, you encouraged people like Mr. Ehrman to act when you placed a tag on your cat that gave your name and your telephone number and said, please help me if you find my cat that's gotten out. He did exactly what you told him to do. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I felt that I was getting nowhere and I had to pursue legal action for what little I could get to pay the enormous amount of medical bills.
I'm responsible, but once the cat scratched him, he should have dropped it. That's what I think.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Eccles versus Fowler. Step forward, please.
Student Colette Eccles is suing her cousin, 23-year-old student Christy Fowler, for unpaid babysitting fees. Christy says Colette did a poor job.
Miss Eccles, you provided daycare for Miss Fowler's children.
Yes,
How old were her children?
4 and 6.
And when did you provide daycare for her children?
December of 2001 to February 2002.
And it was your agreement with Miss Fowler that when she got a state check for child care, that she would pay you, correct?
Yes.
And she never did.
No.
Is that right?
Correct.
Now, Miss Fowler tells me the following story in her answer. Bert, are we paying careful attention here? I want you to listen to this story.
I am with you.
Miss Fowler says that you did not do a good job when you took care of her children. But despite that, when she got her state check, it was just before she was ready to go to jail. So she cashed the check and she gave the money to a friend to give to you. I read that right, didn't I?
No, ma'am.
I didn't read that right? Let's see what you say here. You said...
He was my cousin, Your Honor.
Oh, you mean it wasn't friend, it was cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, I was right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Colette Eccles says her cousin, Christy Fowler, owes for unpaid babysitting fees. Christy says Colette is scamming the state.
How much did you give your cousin to give to her?
Like $2,000.
And does your cousin have a name?
Fabian.
And what does Mr. do for a living?
He works somewhere now, but then he didn't have no job then.
So at the time that you gave him this $2,000 in cash, he was unemployed.
That's correct.
Now, what prompted you to give the money to Fabian?
Okay, Your Honor, I had just got the check like a day before I was sentenced.
For what?
For why? For possession of a controlled substance and assault, Your Honor. And he lived with me at this time, and they sent me the check with a letter of verification that said I'm supposed to pay her how much I feel that I should pay her.
And the rest was a gift to you?
Excuse me? There was no gift.
Well, if you say that they sent you a check and that the letter said you should pay Miss Eccles what you thought she deserved,
that's right.
Then the rest the state was sending you as a gift. How much was the whole check for?
For $2,208.
Okay. So you thought that she deserved $2,000, leaving you $208.
That's all I spent.
Just a second. Let's say you thought she deserved $1,000. So you would have given her $1,000, and the other $1,208 would have been a gift to you from the state for being a good mother.
Yes, Your Honor. That's how you
okay.
want to
I
put
just
it.
wanted to make sure where we were going. So the $208 was a gift to you from Officer Byrd, because he's a citizen who pays taxes. Miss Fowler, I don't believe you.
Okay.
Let us start with, I don't believe you. I don't believe that the day before you went to jail, you said to Fabian, an unemployed cousin who lived with you in a house where there were drugs going on and everything else, you gave him $2,000 and said to him, I want you to go find Miss Eccles and give her the money that I owe her for not taking good care of my children. I don't believe you.
But she know it's true. Just ask her. She know I gave him the money.
I'm going to ask her
she
right
know
now.
it's true.
Did Fabian give you $2,000?
No, he did not.
He gave her $800.
No, he did not.
Just a minute. If he gave her $800, what happened to the other $1,200?
I don't know what he did with it. I was gone. I was already incarcerated, Your Honor.
Just a minute. You were already gone. So what makes you think he gave her $800?
Because everybody told me. Everybody say so. The whole family. She been knowing my whole family for 17 years. I got my stub right here. I got a statement right here from another man, my stepdad that was living with me. He took her to my house and gave her the $800. She went and searched my house and found $800. And that was the money. Half of the money.
Miss Fowler, why did you just tell me before and swear in your answer that you gave her $2,000 when you didn't give her $2,000? You only gave her, according to you, she only took $800.
Listen, I gave Fabian $2,000.
What does that have to do with her?
He knew what he was supposed to do with the money. I left my business, I left my house, I left him my car, I left him my children, I left him everything to handle my business while I go and do my time, Your Honor. If he didn't give it to her, what am I supposed to do? I can't do nothing from jail. But I guess he spent half the money.
You know that
and he
actually
gave her
sounds logical to her? Miss Fowler, let us say you bought a television set for $2,000 at Sears Roebuck. And before you went to jail, you say to Fabian, here is the $2,000 that I owe to Sears Roebuck. And Fabian doesn't pay Sears. And Sears comes when you get out of jail and you say, well, what are you doing here? And they say, well, I'm coming to get my TV because you didn't pay for it. And you say, well, you can't do that. Fabian had the money. I gave the money to Fabian. You see how stupid that sounds?
Okay,
How far do you think you would get with them?
No, that's a legitimate business.
Just a
this
second.
is not a legitimate business.
Yes.
She asked me.
No. Miss Eccles, you evidently told the state in the form of a written voucher that Miss Eccles was your child care provider for your 2 children. Now, if you lied to the state when you told them that, but if you think that the state is going to make you a gift, you are absolutely mistaken.
Well, how come they...
We are not going to make you a gift for committing fraud. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Oh,
Step
yeah,
out.
right.
Hickman Williamson versus Jennings. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Thanks, Bird.
Quite welcome.
You 2 folks are boyfriend and girlfriend, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And you had a fight. Police were called. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
When was that?
It was March the 3rd.
Is this the first time you were arrested for domestic violence?
No, Your Honor.
How many times had you been arrested for domestic violence?
3.
Same gal?
No.
3 different gals?
No, 2, Your Honor.
How many times with this young lady?
1.
He doesn't have a good track record. In any event, you were being held in jail, and you decided that you didn't want him in jail. Is that right?
That's right, Your Honor.
So you wanted to post bail. So you got some money together. How much was the bail?
$1,500 in cash.
But you didn't want to go down and post the bail yourself.
No, Your Honor, I was not able to since I was involved in the case.
So that you gave the $1,500 to the defendant to post the bail.
That's right.
Correct?
Correct.
And you went and posted the bail, and of course you understood that when and if the bail was returned, that it went back to the plaintiffs.
Correct.
The bail was ultimately returned, and it was returned to you by way of a check.
Right.
Sent to your home.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you want your money.
Yes.
So, Mr. Jennings, when did the check come to your house?
I never saw the check, Your Honor.
I have the check where it was mailed out.
Let me see.
Give him the one that I signed to.
Well, this is $1,289.
Yes, that was after fines and court
yes.
costs, Your Honor.
When did you call Mr. Jennings to ask him about the money?
I called him every day after the court hearing, every day, sometimes twice a day.
And what did he say the very next day?
He said he had not received the check yet.
Did you call him the next day?
Yes.
I asked him every day, too, Your Honor, because he was my friend, and I used to hang around him. So I asked him every day, and he denied receiving the check.
Did he ever say to you somebody had stolen his ID, which is
yes.
his defense?
Yes.
When was your ID stolen, Mr. Jennings?
About the 15th or something like that.
All right. So let me ask you some specifics. So you got a call from the plaintiffs the very next day. So you were on alert that this check was going to be coming.
Right.
Do you work?
No, not right now.
Were you working then?
No.
So you were home?
Not always.
You were home enough to get your mail?
Right.
Every day?
Yes.
Who else lives with you?
A friend of mine.
Who?
What if I told you that the commoner bride who walked into St. Paul's Cathedral in 1981 was never really a commoner at all? What if the shy young woman in the ivory gown carried bloodlines older, purer, and in some ways even more royal than the Windsor themselves? The world thought they were watching a fairy tale. In truth, history was coming full circle. The woman stepping into that carriage wasn't just marrying into royalty. She was bringing it back. Diana Spencer's blood contained secrets that had been hidden. For centuries, connections to kings and queens deliberately erased from official records and dynastic claims that could have rewritten the history of England itself. To understand this, we must step far away from the flashing cameras of the 1980s and walk into the ancestral halls of Althorpe House, Diana's childhood home. Here, portraits stare down from gilded frames, ears, countesses, courtiers, and warriors. The Spencers were not newcomers to nobility. Since the 16th century, they had been at the very heart of England's power, growing wealthy from sheep farming, rising through careful marriages, and weaving their way into the web of families that touched the throne. This wasn't chance. The Spencers built their family like a fortress with alliances, inheritances, and marriages designed not just for wealth, but for legacy. What they created was more than a noble house. It was a reservoir of bloodlines, many of them linked to England's most powerful dynasties. Diana was the living product of this centuries-long strategy. No dynasty looms larger in English history than the Tudor, and Diana's ancestry intertwines with theirs in fascinating and controversial ways. Henry VIII, famous for 6 wives and endless marital drama, did not struggle to produce children. He struggled to produce legitimate ones. His acknowledged son, Henry Fitzroy, was the child of his mistress, Elizabeth Blount. Unlike most illegitimate children of the time, Fitzroy was recognized publicly and showered with honors. Though he died young, his line didn't vanish. Over generations, his connections filtered into noble families that eventually touched the Spencers. Then comes Mary Boleyn, sister to Anne. She too was amistress of Henry VIII, and during that relationship, she bore a daughter, Catherine Carey. Officially, Catherine belonged to Mary's husband, William Carey. But the timing of her birth raises questions historians have debated for centuries. Was she in fact Henry VIII's child? If she was, then Catherine Carey's descendants carried Tudor blood, and through centuries of noble marriages, that blood entered the Spencer line, which would mean that Diana was not just a princess by marriage, but a distant descendant of Henry VIII himself. Beyond the Tudor, Diana's ancestry stretches into one of the most legendary dynasties in English history, the Plantagenets. Her connection comes through the Beaufort family, descendants of John of Gaunt, the powerful Duke of Lancaster and son of Edward III, and his longtime companion, Catherine Swynford. Their children were eventually legitimized by royal decree. Yet, a cruel twist of law barred them and their heirs from claiming the throne. This ruling didn't erase their influence. Instead, the Beauforts embedded themselves into the nobility, marrying strategically and carrying Plantagenet blood into dozens of powerful families. Over centuries, their descendants threaded through the aristocracy like golden strands hidden in the tapestry of England's history. One of those strands led directly to the Spencers and eventually to Diana. It's tempting to think the Plantagenets disappeared forever on that bloody day in 1485 when Richard III fell at Bosworth Field and the Tudor seized power. But the truth is different. The dynasty never truly died. Their bloodlines slipped underground into side branches, illegitimate children, and quiet marriages that avoided the gaze of official succession law. Diana's ancestry connected her to those forgotten currents. She was, in a sense, a living echo of the Plantagenets, a reminder that dynasties never vanish completely. They survive in the shadows, waiting for the day when their descendants unknowingly step back into history's spotlight. As if Tudor and Plantagenets weren't enough, Diana's family tree also weaves into the Stuart dynasty, a house famous for drama, restoration, and rebellion. Consider Charles II, the Merry Monarch. Though he left no legitimate heir, he fathered a staggering number of children with his many mistresses. Unusually, he acknowledged several of them and granted noble titles: Dukes of Grafton, St. Albans, Richmond, and more. These illegitimate yet powerful offspring didn't fade away. They were woven into the aristocracy, their blood flowing into families who would shape Britain for centuries. Over generations, those lines tangled with others until they reached the Spencers. Diana thus carried the legacy of a king who, though officially leaving no heirs to the throne, unofficially fathered much of Britain's noble class. Her Stuart connection doesn't end there. James II, brother of Charles II, had children with his companion Arabella Churchill, sister of John Churchill, the great Duke of Marlborough. Arabella's descendants entered noble houses that later intertwined with the Spencers. This meant Diana's ancestry absorbed yet another king's legacy, passed outside the narrow path of legitimacy, but preserved through carefully chosen alliances. The effect is staggering. Diana's bloodline wasn't a single golden thread leading back to one king. It was a whole network of connections, Tudeh, Plantagenet, Stuart, interlacing through time until they all converged in hair. At this point, one might ask, was it all coincidence? Did the Spencers simply happen to marry into families dripping with royal blood, or was something more deliberate at work? When you study their history, a pattern emerges. Court records and marriage contracts suggest the Spencers had an uncanny ability to choose alliances that brought in royal connections. Over centuries, they married daughters of mistresses, sons of acknowledged illegitimate princes, and heirs from annulled or disputed unions. It is as if they were collecting dynastic fragments, pieces of royal puzzles cast aside by law, but still alive in blood. Other noble houses pursued similar connections, occasionally. The Spencers pursued them relentlessly. Every generation seemed tobering in another thread of royal DNA until their family tree resembled a genealogical museum of English monarchy. By the time Diana was born in 1961, the Spencers had become extraordinary. They were not kings, but they carried the sense of kingship within them. They were not crowned, but their veins held echoes of nearly every dynasty that had ruled England. In effect, the Spencers became a parallel royal line, a family that never sat on the throne, but carried its spirit through time, waiting for history to circle back. And thestery doesn't end in England. Through colonial marriages and distant kin, Diana's extended ancestry links her, however faintly, to America's founding fathers and early presidents. George Washington, John Adams, and John Quincy Adams appear in genealogical charts that connect the aristocracy of England to the leadership of the New World. Whether one takes these connections as fact or family legend, they reveal something bigger. English noble bloodlines, carefully preserved for centuries, quietly shaped power, not just in Britain, but across the Atlantic world. When Diana walked into St. Paul's Cathedral in 1981, the cameras told one story, a commoner marrying a prince. But the truth beneath the veil was the opposite. Diana brought with her a heritage the Windsor desperately needed. The Windsor dynasty, originally of German origin, had rebranded itself during World War I to appear more English. By the late 20th century, its bloodlines were narrow, carefully contained, through generations of intermarriage. Diana offered something different. She brought in centuries of English heritage, Tudor and Plantagenet echoes, Stuart entanglements, and a depth of lineage that the Windsor lacked. Her marriage was not just romance. It was history repairing itself. Lost bloodlines reuniting with the throne after centuries apart. The story doesn't stop with Diana. Her sons William and Harry are the living embodiment of this ancestral reunification. They do not just carry Windsor blood. They carry Tudor blood, Stuart blood, Plantagenet echoes, and the traits of royal companions whose children were excluded from succession. When William ascends a throne, he will be the first monarch in centuries to combine legitimate succession with the forgotten bloodlines of kings excluded by politics, scandal, or law. In him, the monarchy regains dynasties it thought it had lost forever. And yet, the greatest irony is this. Diana never knew the full weight of what she carried to the world. She was the people's princess, the fairy tale bride, the humanitarian who broke barriers. Boot in her veins ran 1,000 years of history, the triumphs, scandals, and secrets of England's royal past. Her death was mourned as a human tragedy. But at a deeper level, the nation may have been grieving something more. The sudden loss of the woman who embodied England's oldest bloodlines. Diana Spencer was not the commoner of the palace presented her to be. She was the genetic bridge between the medieval and the modern, between the Tudor, the Plantagenets, the Stuarts, and the Windsor. Her legacy lives on, not only memory, but in the blood of future kings. Diana's story reveals a truth the monarchy never wanted told, that the outsider bride was in fact a vessel of the very heritage the Windsor needed most. Through her, ancient dynasties returned to Buckingham Palace. Through her sons, history will reign again.